3AW's John Sammy Newman.
Well, the moment of truth arrived for Collingwood. 32 years of ridicule now in the hands of 20 players for the Magpies. They won't have it their own way, of course, because Essendon, a very proud side, stung by a 63-point defeat some weeks before in one of the finals games, the second final against Collingwood, and now they're here again to do battle. And, of course, I still believe the weather will play a big part in this game. Terry Danaher, Tim Watson, Simon Madden, Paul van der Haar, all here and all selected. I think they'll find it tough. They're going tough towards the end of the day. Despite what Rex said earlier, I think it's still pretty hot conditions for football. Nevertheless, Collingwood have to nullify Salmon and Madden, and they've got Monkhurst and Manson to do it. They've got the inclusion of Francis, a very strong, powerful player in Barwick. Mullane, McGuan, Morwood, I expect and tip Collingwood to win by half a dozen goals. It won't be easy. It'll be tough in the first 25 minutes, but that's what grand final football's all about. And while we're on it, spare a thought for Brian Taylor, who worked for 10 years to be in this very position and now is not.
Sam Newman, let's go to Bill Jacobs, who has the result of Alan Jeans tossing the coin.
Well, as announced, Alan did toss the coin and Tim Watson won the toss, hesitated for a moment, looked at both ends and finally decided that Essendon would kick to the scoreboard end.
So the breeze from the southwest appears, according to Al Martello, during the reserves and under-19s to be favouring the punt road end. And we'll find that Somerville and Spawn will take their position on the bench for Essendon. And Starcevic and Turner, in turn, will take the same roles for Collingwood. Picking up right is Kransberg and giving away plenty. The crowd now starting to come alight as umpire Dennis Rich is waiting for the nod from the respective captains in Tony Shaw and also Timmy Watson to start this off. Collingwood have plenty to play for today. Kelly and van der Haar starting to niggle each other. And let's go to John Newman. It's on down in the punt road goal square. And there goes the siren. And welcome. This is what it is all about. The ball's in the air. It sits nicely. Manson goes up. Won the first tap. Went down to Russell. Wasn't there. Play on, said the umpire. Could throw the tarpaulin over 30 players. Coming through Kerrison, the first kick of the grand final, and the Magpies forward. It's off the top of the pack. It's bouncing and bouncing. And this has gone through. Touched behind. Off the top of Terry Danaher's knuckles, and it went through for the first score, which came 28 seconds into the grand final. The 3RW Sunday Sun scoreboard, 1 behind, 1 point Magpies. And Anthony Danaher has this football. Essendon yet to score. Members side, he selects outside 50. Good kick, sits in the breeze. Brown is up. Punched away by Kelly of Collingwood. Kransberg went without it. A high tackle on Brown. And the Collingwood player has the kick. Gavin Brown on left half forward outside 50. Kransberg standing the mark. Brown is off and running now. Kicks it long in towards the centre scoring area. High Manson couldn't get it. The ball came down to Tony Shaw. Off the side of the pack. Knocked out by Izard. Went down in the area of Chris Danaher. A spiral punt on the left foot down towards van der Haar. Punched away by Kelly. Coming through Bomber Thompson in plenty of trouble. Kickett gets a quick kick, but it spills into the hands of Kelly. On hands and knees. Hand passes back to Kerrison. A shot. And taking the mark down there, Russell for Collingwood. A minute and a half in, and Russell at centre half forward kicks a long bomb. Monkhorst is up. Terry Danaher comes through. Went down to Bomber Thompson in trouble. Collingwood doing all the attacking. Coming through, Grenvald is held. And Grenvald has this kick, ticking up to 2 minutes in the grand final. Sunday Sun scoreboard, Collingwood a point. Essendon yet to score.
Grenvald coming through the centre half back spot. Kicks it up towards centre wing, member side of the ground. Spoiling tactics to prevailing. Knocked it down towards kicker. Then to McGuan. McGuan lost the run of the ball. But there's going to be a free kick to Collingwood. Shaw picked it up. Wanted to go on. The kicker's had a go at Shaw. But McGuan will come back and take the free kick. And the kicker didn't stand aside then, that's for sure. So, pardon the pun, the free kick to McGuan on centre wing, member side of the ground, driving it across to that outer side. He's got the lead up there from Barwick. It bounced nicely for Barwick. He made the play, circle half forward flank, hand passing away, out wide to Mullane on centre wing outer side. Mullane coming around, boots it long, up towards a full forward spot. They mash there, players being pushed right, left and centre, and one in front was Madden, and he was pushed, and the umpire picked the free kick immediately. Madden now down near the goal square, defending at the punt road end of the ground. Hand passes quickly to Izzard, who bounces his way out towards the outer side, then plonks it across to a lead by Anderson. Over there with him is Mullane, of course. Mullane taps it across the line. It'll be thrown in between centre wing, half forward flank, outer side at the punt road end. 1 point on the board for Collingwood, and Essendon yet to score. The ball coming back into play now. In there doing the ruck work was Madden. He gave it a thump, went to Mullane, then out to Francis, but didn't bounce well for Francis. He made it. He was bumped aside by Anderson. Ball loose, out to Long. Long trying to hand pass back over in the direction of Vanderhaar. Taken away quickly. Kerrison featuring well in towards the forward line over the heads of every player. It bounced badly for Anthony Danaher. Picked up by Monkhorst. 30 metres out. Snapped for goal. And it's 1 point only. 1 point only to see Collingwood on to 2 behinds. 2 points on the 3W Sunday Sun scoreboard, and Essendon yet to score 3.5 minutes into the first term of the grand final. Anthony Danaher about to kick it back into play. The last time he chose the member side of the ground, looking that way. Kransberg coming out, but Anthony Danaher's ignored that at the moment. Hesitating, back into the square again, and finally at 3 minutes and 50 seconds into the quarter he comes in and he boots it long. It's a 50 metre kick upfield, up towards the member side of the ground. McGuan easily outmanoeuvred Kransberg and took the mark. McGuan 55 metres out. The angle not to be spoken of at the moment. McQuan's looking for leads at 4 minutes into the quarter. Collingwood 2 behinds and Essendon yet to score. McGuan now, a torpedo punt kick floating on and on, up towards the full forward spot, and Anthony Danaher outmanoeuvred Monkhorst to take the mark in defence.
Good play by Anthony Danaher, giving away inches to the big Monkhorst and took it nicely on his chest. He'll transfer play outside 50, member side, half-back flank for Essendon. McGuan has taken a class mark. McGuan, he's on the draw, hand passing to Morwood. Good tackle. Here comes Shaw. On the draw is Morwood, backing up nicely, but ran straight into Bomber Thompson. Magpies in trouble, diving on the ball. Shaw couldn't get it. In trouble, and Hamilton has been penalised for holding the ball. I didn't even think he had it, let alone penalised. There's a wrestle going on between McGuan and Kickett and Kransberg. But umpire Rich has given this kick to Morwood, and the ball shines in the sunshine as it goes down high. Monkhorst! And big Monkhorst has taken this mark. 45 metres out, the man on the mark stands Anthony Danaher. Monkhorst breathing in this air at the MCG as if to settle himself down. He's on the boundary line, but will kick from 47 metres out. Left half forward for the Magpies at the punt road end. This is a vital kick, and this is not a good kick off the side of the boot. It's just for Manson. Couldn't take it. Here comes Dacos out in front of O'Donnell. Pushing, shoving, and O'Donnell gets it away nicely. Finds Vanderhaar. Vanderhaar knocks it on. The ball came down to Izzard. Izzard picks it up. He's got a lead further afield, and Watson goes in and takes a nice mark for Essendon.
At centre wing on the outer side of the ground, he pumps a hand pass across to Long. Wasn't a good one, made it hard for Long, but he retrieved it well at centre wing, and he's kicked it in towards the centre of the ground. Essendon have got many players there. Thompson took the mark for Essendon. Thompson between centre wing and centre of the ground. First time they've had it this far up the ground. Over towards the member side of the ground, and running there is Hamilton out in front of his opponent. Umpire's blown the whistle. My word, if the players aren't toey, the umpires are. They're whistle happy at the present moment. Hamilton's got the free kick on the 50 metre line, kicking up towards the railway scoreboard end. Coming in from the member side of the ground. He's kicked it up there. Salmon's got the chance. He's got it. Salmon out in front. Took the mark. Salmon plumb in front of goal. And it's 6 minutes and 33 seconds into the quarter. Even though Collingwood have scored and Essendon haven't, Essendon look a little bit more frisky at the present moment. Salmon will kick from about 25 to 30 metres out. Hunched over the ball now, kicking up towards the railway scoreboard end. 2 behinds Collingwood. Salmon at 7 minutes into the quarter has kicked it on its way, and it's a goal to Essendon. A goal to Essendon, a goal to Salmon. 7 minutes into the quarter, the opening goal, pretty heartening.
Yes, in fact, this is about the first time that Essendon had gone past their own half-forward line. Collingwood had been in attack. Most of their attacks were being bombed into the square, hoping that Monkhorst who opened up in a forward pocket as distinct from his named position as first ruck, would come off. It wasn't, although he did have one shot at goal as a set kick and a snap, but a nice goal to Salmon, who led well to almost no opposition.
7.5 minutes in as the ball is banged down on the middle of the ground. Madden in there, he knocked it away up towards centre half forward, ranging across the half back line as Morwood, hotly pressed by Long, putting in pretty well. Out to Thompson with handball. Thompson lost the run of it. Long pounces on again. He's doing well, Long. Oh, Kerrison's boot went in the air there, missed everything. Out to Izard, kicks it quickly back into the centre of the ground. Harvey and Kickett can raffle it. Harvey's got it better. Hurry does, kicks it with the left foot up towards the half forward line and over there into the forward pocket of Buick. Couldn't mark it. Wright picks it up. Hand passes quickly out and away come the Magpies through McGuan onto the left foot. Up to Shaw, dropped the mark. Down to the ground it goes. He tapped it out cleverly and away they go again with Francis onto the left foot, driving it around the member side of the ground at Kaziska to Manson. 4 buys there. He lost the run of it. Scooped across the field over the line out of bounds to be thrown in. Half forward flank for Collingwood member side down at the punt road end. The Bombers a goal. The Magpies 2 points at 8.5 minutes into the first quarter of the grand final. Spinning back into play it goes. In there Madden. Madden jostled aside by Manson. Hit the ground. Tap again by Madden. Out towards Long. Long uncertain of what to do there. Knocked it out to Kelly. A hand pass from that player to Dacos onto the left foot. Plonks it up towards the half forward line. Knocked away. It's going to be taken away by Thompson, by Gredfold. Up towards the centre wing position. Manson's mark. Manson on centre wing member side of the ground. Scoreboard a goal to Essendon, 2 behinds to Collingwood.
And Manson's got the bicycle shorts and it's a wobbly punt, but Barwick goes up. Barwick marked just untagged as Salmon did a minute and 3/4 away. And Barwick on a 45-degree angle on left half forward flank, punt road end, members side, has this breeze on his right shoulder and he is very confident he's going to kick this through. So 9 minutes in this first quarter and Collingwood 2 points trail Essendon 6. Barwick taking his time. He skips, he stutters, he puts this ball on its way and it's floating into the goal square. High is Hamilton, and Terry Danaher it was who took a good mark with the socks down. I might have known Terry, and the grandfather of the Essendon Football Club, Terry Danaher, has got this football. He'll kick it outside 50. Look at it whirling in the breeze. From behind, Manson punches it, but a good mark in front was taken to the big bloke in Van der Haar, who's playing the loose man across the half-back line at the moment, giving Kelly the run around. The lead comes from Kransberg. From behind, Mick McGuan, pushing, shoving. Down it goes towards Russell. He can't take it for Collingwood. Over the top, Mick McGuan coming through Morwood. Scoops it back to Russell, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Sam Newman on 3AW.
Well, Essendon have got tremendous value for their one thrust forward. They've kicked a goal and it's the only time it's been there.
Manson versus Madden from behind. Manson couldn't go. Manson got it down to Russell. The ball tumbles over to Dacos. First touch. The hand pass didn't find Barwick. Here comes O'Donnell. He's got a lead from Watson in the centre of the ground. Timmy shrugs them off. He puts it out in front. Salmon is down. Play on, says the umpire, but Criskin can come in and relieve the pressure for the Maggies.
Round the member side of the ground and kicking up towards centre wing. Kransberg there. Upset his opponents over the heads of every player. Going over towards the boundary line and over the line it goes to be thrown in. True centre wing position member side. 11 minutes in. It's a goal to Essendon, 2 behinds to Collingwood in a brisk opening, but not yielding big scores at the moment. The ball spinning back into play. Over it goes. Tucked home by Madden. Madden towards Thompson. Didn't go. Controlled the ball pretty well in the finish. Thompson a shoddy kick. It's going to be a free kick for him being legged. No wonder it was a shoddy kick. And Thompson playing on centre wing at the moment will take the free kick from that position. The other field umpire comes over to exert his authority at the moment that Thompson was about to play on, and Thompson will kick from centre wing position on the member's side, driving it up towards the railway scoreboard end. The kick in towards the centre half forward spot. Banks up there, plucks the mark out of the air, and Banks relieves the pressure. He's looking to handball. Eventually gave it out to Gaffer. Wasn't the original intention. Then it came to Mullane. Onto the left foot, he brings the ball around the member's side of the ground. Essendon players in abundance. Thompson again gets his boot to the goal. Another poor kick over to Izard. Izard onto the left foot, slaps it up towards Salmon. Chopping it across was right. It goes out towards Christian. Christian taking the traffic around the outer side. No, he's not. He gave it to Shaw with handball. Shaw kicks back to the member's side. Manson there. Manson and Madden. Manson grabbed Madden. Play on as a call. It went out to Buick and a hand pass quickly to Van der Haar. Van der Haar showing experience there. Kicks it steadily over towards Salmon. And Salmon has marked it. Salmon has marked it. Well, now, everybody who was making predictions about the game all realised that this was a big danger man for Collingwood, and he's proved at the moment that he is by kicking a goal and now marking 40 metres out from goal and directly in front at the railway end. 12 and a half minutes into the game. It's Essendon a goal and Collingwood 2 behinds. The ball with Salmon, the only goal kicker of the match thus far, and he's out about 55 metres out from goal. He will run in from there. Players congregate around him. Collingwood players obviously would be trying to put him off his kick. Christian stamping around on the mark like a bull. And in comes Salmon to put it on its way. It's got a chance, but I think it might be a little astray. It's come back and the goal umpire's indicated that it's 1 point only. So Essendon on a 1-1-7 lead, Collingwood 2 behind 2 points, 13 minutes into the first quarter of the grand final.
Pity Salmon did that because he started off in very confident form and Christian looks a little bit at sea in trying to handle him. And when you get a chance like that, even though it was a fair way out, it was dead in front, good players should really try and convert those.
Ball about to be kicked back into play at the 13-minute mark of the quarter, and it's going to be kicked back in by Banks. He kicks it over towards the outer side of the ground. The target was Manson, and Manson takes the mark in front of Madden. Hand passes very quickly to Kerrison. Kerrison's had about 4 touches in the game. The kick is bad. Spinning over towards Harvey. Harvey had it knocked away from him. Morwood was trying to get possession of the ball, but it spills out. Knocked away. It's on the half-forward flank of the outer side of the ground. Essendon over there, and doing it as Watson. Watson turning quickly, has kicked it high in the air. There'll be a play on call. They knock it away. Down it goes, picked up very quickly by Russell to boot it wide over towards Manson, lumbering around. He hand passes back, and Collingwood going away from the boot of Mullane over there. We're driving it long up towards the centre wing position. Back it comes. The ball apparently was out of bounds, and the umpire will throw the ball back into play on centre wing position on the outer side of the ground. 14 minutes in, it's 1-1 to 2 behinds. Essendon leading on the 3AW Sunday Sun scoreboard. Back into play it comes. Madden in front, decisively beat Manson on that occasion. The ball is spilled loose out to Mullane. He picks it up, lost it, dropped it, got the jitters over towards the boundary line, and it's over the line, but there's a free kick to Essendon, to Anderson. Couldn't see the infringement, long way away from us, but Anderson's got the free kick over there. Obviously must have been held, I think, and Anderson, they've transferred it across to Kransberg with a free kick now onto the half-forward line. Kicking it up towards centre half-forward, players jostling there, high at the back, coming down to the ground it goes, knocked away, players trying to get the ball away, half-forward flank outer side of the ground, umpire's blown the whistle, and he's awarded a free kick to Collingwood, and Collingwood will get the free kick on the half-back flank on the outer side of the ground. Maybe Kelly. It's 1-1 to 2 behind, 15 minutes into the first quarter.
And I'm sure Ron Kelly forgot that he was on Salmon because Salmon had 50 metres then.
Yes, well, he did take the punt and left him. It could have easily come unstuck, but they're the things you sometimes forced into as a player. You've got to back your judgment at times.
Monkhorst off for Collingwood and Starcevic on. Kelly kicks it out of defence down towards Mullane. Couldn't take it. Vanderhaar's got it, and the Dutchman hand passes to Buick. On the draw to Salmon. And Salmon goes out and marks 47 metres on the boundary line, left half-forward flank at the main scoreboard or Jollymont Railway yard end of the MCG here this afternoon. So Salmon, he's already kicked 1-1 and he puts this ball on its way and hits the post. That was just a magnificent kick by Salmon that split the timber. And Essendon 1-2-8, Collingwood 2 behinds 2 points. Kerrison kicks to himself. A low trajectory kick comes outside 50. Looking down there for Francis. Out in front of Bomber Thompson. And Francis concedes by taking the football over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of the MCG smokers stand. The ball back into play. It sits in the breeze. Double fisted by McGuan. Goes to centre wing. Here comes Harvey. Takes it in beautifully. And Watson is out in front of Gafer. On the draw to Chris Danaher on the left boot. A long ball. Salmon, it's set for him. And the fit. You could see it. You could just predict what was going to happen. And all Kelly could wait for was a herd of buffaloes as fish went up and took another mark, Ron Barassi.
Yeah, well, he's in the sitting right in the right spot then. If he misses this chance, well, you'd be very disappointed. I also noticed that Kelly has been put on Salmon instead of the big bloke Christian. And, of course, he's been there about 1 minute and he's already had Salmon mark over him. But it was a lovely kick towards Salmon, just the same.
Salmon doing up his boots. Here's Sam Newman on 3AW.
Well, I'd say the one small thing Collingwood haven't done is their homework. I'd say Christian played Salmon completely wrong and Kelly's not doing much better.
So Salmon, you could almost say for a professional, this is point blank range. And it is a goal. It's a goal to Salmon of Essendon. He's got the 2. Bombers are off and running 2-2-14 and Collingwood 2 behinds 2 points. And let's go to Graham Bond on 3AW.
Well, Salmon, 4 marks, 4 kicks and 2 goals too. Bomber Thompson with 4 kicks. Timmy Watson, 2 kicks and 2 marks. Madden's had 5 hitouts. Only players showing for the Maggies. Kerrison with 4 kicks. Mullane and McGuan with 3 apiece.
Well, it's all looking very good at the moment. Essendon are certainly outplaying Collingwood without a shadow of a doubt, and the scoreboard has revealed that may have even been better. It's 2-2 to 2 behinds. The umpire back in the centre of the ground, 17.5 minutes into the first quarter, a little bit more than halfway through as he whacks it down in the middle of the ground. Madden up there, got it down to Chris Danaher coming through, knocked away, picked up very quickly there by Krasiska. Onto the left foot, kicking to the member side of the ground. Long leading in the race for the ball. It's going very close to the boundary line. Long couldn't keep it in. He goes to the ground, and in his back was right of Collingwood. So the ball, Long has done pretty well as far as I can see at this stage of the journey, and the ball coming back into play now. Out there is Madden. Madden being held by Manson. Manson whacked it away, goes to ground to be picked up by Francis. He accelerates, get onto the left foot, up towards the half-forward line. It's going to be a chance for Dacos coming through, missed the run of the ball, went to McGuan. Too slow, McGuan, to get rid of the ball. Essendon tackling good, down to the ground it goes. Umpire allows play to go on. Well played, Essendon, out towards Madden. A chance for the ball now here for Thompson. Thompson whack at it, somebody there in the middle of the pack. Down to the ground it goes, and the umpire will bounce the ball. Well, there were 2 or 3 opportunities there for Essendon to get clear. They didn't. It's 2-2 to 2 behinds on the 3AW scoreboard, and the ball near enough to centre wing member's side. Manson jostling with Madden. Madden coming alongside of him now, clearly outpointed Manson. Good ruck work, knocked to the ground, picked up by right onto the centre wing position. Left foots it up towards the half-forward line. A chance for Collingwood, and Krasiska's happy to throw it over the line. Knock it over the line. Didn't want to keep the ball on that occasion, and it's out of bounds on Collingwood's half-forward line member's side, punt road end. 2-2 to 2 behinds, 19 minutes into the quarter. Ball being propelled back into play. Madden tapped it down. Thompson roving the pack beautifully. Got it, hand passed out in the direction of kick it. Past him was Bowick. Bowick, hand pass out to Lane. He'll turn around at the centre half forward spot. Finally whacked there, play on as a call. And Collingwood are playing it more physically now. Out to Shaw, tackled by Grenfell. Over towards the boundary line on the half forward line. Well played, Grenfell. Well played, pushed it over the line, and Shaw not liking it. It's out of bounds over there on the half-forward flank, out of side, punt road end. 2-2 to 2 behinds, 19.5 minutes into the quarter, into Collingwood's attacking zone. Back into play it comes. Madden, Manson, neither did much there. Went down very quickly to Harvey, who was flattened, and he'll get the free kick. On the half-back line on the outer side of the ground, Harvey of Essendon with a score 2-2 to 2 behinds.
And Harvey kicks a long, high ball to centre wing. It was looking for Anderson, but chopping in is Tony Shaw. And the Collingwood skipper has got it. Here comes the lead from Starcevic. That's ignored. He kicks a long football 40 metres in towards Manson. Couldn't take the mark. On the spill, picking it up there is O'Donnell of Essendon. Kicks it and it turns end over fist and goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, Ron Barassi.
Yes, it's interesting to see that no changes have been made along the centre line on both sides. We've got Anderson on Mullane, and in the centre, Kickett, Shaw, Long versus right.
Left half forward for Collingwood, punt road end, knocked out by the big fellow in Harvey, and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Sam Newman on 3AW.
Yeah, well, I just worry about Salmon. I reckon they've given him far too much room, Collingwood.
And the ball now back into the arena. In front was Madden. He got shifted by Manson over the back, looking for Morwood, who knocked it on, picked up by Kickett, but it went straight into the solar plexus of Shaw. Kickett a short kick to Weezard on centre wing member's side. He kicks it into Van der Haar, who's pitched it from Kelly. Back on Salmon is Christian again. More moves here than a worm box. And Van der Haar is on the left boot to the leading Salmon. And Salmon has been interfered with. No, Gaffer cleans up. Hand passes to mighty Mick McGuan, kicks it outside 50 to the centre wing to the lead of Starcevic. He's out there on the emblem centre wing and brings it back into the centre area. Down to Krasiska. He's under pressure. Handballs across to Barwick. Barwick under extreme pressure from Grenbold. And hand passes and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
It's on the half-forward line for Collingwood, out of side, punt road end. 2-2 to 2 behinds is the tally, with Essendon leading on the 3AW scoreboard. About to be put back into play, 21 minutes into the quarter. Boundary umpire propels it back now. Ruck work in there, Salmon. High over the back with Starcevic, knocked it down. Grenfell had it for a moment, lost it. It spills loose out to Dacos. First time he's been called or touched it. He's kicked a goal. One of these miracle goals. Well, if you don't mind. Dacos was on the boundary line. I was preparing to say what he was going to do with it, and he calmly kicked it through for one of those magic goals, and Collingwood are 1-2 to 2-2.
And let's go to you, Ron Barassi. You can just sit in awe of what that man does. There's none of that rhymes with class there. He meant that.
Yes, well, they call him magic, and that was a perfect example of just that.
Well, he's got 97 for the year now. Manson got it away from the centre. That's what Collingwood needed. Knocked away from McGuan. Out to Shaw. Shaw tapped it back to Morwood. It's still in the centre of the ground. Morwood drills it over towards centre half forward. Running at the ball is Starcevic. Picks it up on the half volley. Kicks it back up towards full forward. Brown coming out here like lightning. Picks it up. Hand passes quickly across to Russell. Grab. Lost the run of it. Flipped out now. A chance for Collingwood to get it away. They got it to Brown, and Brown gave it out there, over there to Starcevic, and he's kicked the goal. No, it's 1 point only. That goal's pepped Collingwood up no end, as it would, and it's 2-2 to 1-2. 2-2 to 1-3 with Essendon leading on the 3RW Sunday Sun scoreboard. The ball kicked to himself, and Anthony O'Donnell heads out towards the member side of the ground. Harvey, a very careless attempt to mark the ball, went to ground. He'll have to knock it out to Thompson. Thompson's got it, tackled by Francis. Play on as to call it. Ricocheted out to Shaw. Well shepherded there. Shaw is able to get his kick, and good transfer, good play there by Kranzberg. Pumps the ball over the line to be thrown in. Near enough to half forward flank, member side, punt road end. 23 minutes have gone by in the first quarter of the grand final. Back into play she comes. In there, Madden. Over the back was Manson. Successfully got it down to McGuan. Overran the ball out to Starcevic, who's a nuisance. Gave it out to Morwood. Morwood to Manson with handball. Manson to Dacos. Dacos back to Morwood. Back Morwood trying to get it back to Dacos. O'Donnell in there. Knocked out to Grenfell. Picking up on the half forward flank. Half back flank for Essendon. Tidying up. Kicking towards the centre of the ground. Knocked away by Wright. Down towards Francis, whose speed nearly got him away. Shaw came in, buffered aside, picked up by Gayfer. Gayfer kicks in towards the forward line. Brown there, but dropping back is Chris Danaher. Danaher marks, that's Chris Danaher between full back and centre half back. Looking for which way to go. Players coming over towards the member side of the ground. There's a 50-metre penalty, and now Christopher Danaher will come up towards the centre of the ground. It's 2-2 to 1-3. Essendon leading in a tight first quarter here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Chris Danaher kicks it long. Up there is a target, maybe Vanderhaar. It's dropped a bit short, but he was able to spoil. Went to the ground. Picked up by Izar, but the umpire's blown the whistle. And there's a free kick to Collingwood apparently, and it may be going to Kerrison. If not Kerrison, it'll be Kelly. And the ball now, it's coming upfield. Coming over there to Kelly. Kelly has the ball at centre half back. Going to the outer side of the ground. He's kicked it wide out towards centre wing position. Out there was Banks. Impeded there by Anderson. Anderson tapping it cleverly back. Lost the run of it. Down on the ground it goes. Holding the ball is the call against Collingwood. And coming up with a free kick will be Chris Danaher.
So Chris Danaher playing very nicely. Thank you very much. And he's got it on the right boot, and he kicks a long ball to centre half forward looking for Vanderhaar. No one at home. They could have raffled it. And Christian comes in for Collingwood and takes the relieving mark on right half back outside 50. A good long kick out to centre wing on the outer side. Up very high, Manson claiming the kick on the second grab. Play on, says the umpire. Scooped out to Anderson. He was beheaded. Coming down Anderson again over the top of the football, and the ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. So we're playing time on in the first quarter on the Sunday Sun scoreboard. Essendon 2-2-14. Collingwood 1-3-9. The ball back into the stadium. In front, Manson thumped it down. Got it down to Little Russell. Hand pass to Morwood. On the draw in turn. Gives it to Tony Shaw in the centre of the ground. This long kick will go to Terry Danaher. And Terry Danaher with the socks down at centre halfback has got it. And a lead comes out from Bomber Thompson. He'll have to go. Chris Siska made a good effort to get to it, but play on, said the umpy. The ball comes down to Hamilton. Good interception by Watson in the shepherding department, and Hamilton long to Vanderhaar. Punched away by Kelly. On the draw is Wright. He'll need pace. Here comes Long. Here comes Shaw. Picks it up and a short kick bounces towards Banks. Overrunning the ball is Timmy Watson. The hand pass came out to Starcevic, and he kicks a long ball down towards Chris Siska at the back. Hamilton. Play on, said the umpire. Chris Siska on hands and knees. Pushes it on, looking for Bowick. Over the top, but here they come, and Grenvold relieves the pressure.
On the left foot, and he kicks it back to Starcevic, who's been prominent. Hand pass to Shaw, equally prominent. Centre wing position, member side. Kicking it down towards the lead in the full forward area by Brown. Essendon chop it across. Going to be a free kick against Danaher, Terry Danaher, and the free kick will go to the dangerous Brown. 50 metres out, and he lets fly. Saw the goal open, he's kicked up there, and it's bounced just a little bit wide of it. Who, said the crowd, and who, said we in the commentary box. and it's 2-2 to 1-4. Essendon leading on the 3AW Sunday Sun scoreboard. 1 minute and 40 seconds into the time-on period of the first quarter of the grand final. Anthony Danaher now retreating into his territory there, the goal square, and Danaher coming up now up towards the line, kicking towards the member side of the ground. Up here he's got Cransberg and brother Terry, and Terry reads the flight of the ball better. Took the mark, was about to go on, tackle down to the ground it goes, out to O'Donnell, then to Hamilton. Hamilton hand pass, a very untidy hand pass, allows McGuan to come in. He's letting fly from 50 metres out, but it's a poor kick, and McGuan has kicked it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Essendon to be taken by Simon Madden in the back pocket, defending at the punt road end and on the members' side of the ground. 2-2 to 1-4 as Madden, the former captain, boots it back into play up towards the 50-metre line in defence, and Cransberg comes in to take a mark to atone for an untidy hand pass previously. Cransberg now on the half-back flank members' side, kicking around towards centre wing. Van der Haar in the front berth, spoiling tactics there by Kelly, knocked it away down to ground to Kerrison. Kerrison hand passes further field. Over there we find McGuan. McGuan onto the left foot this time, has kicked it close to the boundary line, and that looked like a mark to Manson. The umpire's paying it. Manson marked it and slid across the boundary line on his knees, and he's in the forward pocket on the member's side, some 35 metres out. The angle obviously acute if he's on the boundary line, kicking towards the punt road end. 28 minutes have gone now. Collingwood trailing 1-4 to 2-2 on the 3AW Sunday Sun scoreboard. Manson lining them up. Everybody covered up on the forward line. He's got to have a dip at them, and now coming across the boundary line into the field of play. Now Manson comes and puts it on its way, and it's not the best looking kick of all time. It's a point. 1 point. I think a lot of people would have been surprised had he kicked it, but you never know your luck. And it's now Collingwood on to 1-5-11, trailing Essendon 2-2-14, 28 and a half minutes into the quarter.
So Spawn comes on for Essendon and Mark Harvey goes off. Kevin Sheedy makes his way down onto the bench. And we wait for Anthony Danaher in the dying moments of this first term at the MCG in the grand final to kick it outside 50, looking for Madden, who's up, couldn't take it. On the spill, Manson tried to knock it on, it went down through to Dacos, but was picked up down there by Russell. Down towards Starcevich. Here comes Brown. Goal to Collingwood. Magnificent interception by Brown. Pinched the ball before it went over the chalk. He ran around and with superb anticipation and pace rammed through his first, and Collingwood have burst to the front. 2-5-17, Collingwood with a goal through Gavin Brown. Essendon 2-2-14, Sunday Sun scoreboard.
Well, the most interesting quarter, and we'll be able to summarise it very soon, but that was a classic example of one of the great things that makes Gavin Brown one of the best players in the country. His superb speed, his acceleration, he just sped around there, and we had no doubt about what he meant to do and had the confidence as well.
This has all the makings of a classic grand final, a last man standing affair. And here comes the umpire. Dennis Rich puts it down, knocked out by Manson. Overrunning the ball, Chris Danaher. Play on as Mick McGuan gets another kick. The kick spills out centre wing to Anderson in front of Mullane. Anderson brings it back on the left boot, looking for the Van der Haar boy. He's there, but so is the boundary line and so is the siren. And 29 minutes and 58 seconds saw that quarter. And Collingwood lead at quarter time. And there's a real dust up. And really, Kelly just ran 50 metres and it's on. And this is ugly. This is going to turn into an ugly brawl. I saw Kelly out of the corner of my cranium and I saw him run 1,000,000 miles an hour. There's an Essendon player down. I'm trying to pick him up. By gee, this is ugly, and Brown has just given a haymaker. I saw that and I never ever thought I'd see the day you'd do that. I can't believe what I've seen. There is a Collingwood player laying down, and the trainers, the runners, the goal umpires, and this is very ugly, and there's a fight on at centre half forward and there's no players involved. There are committee men, Lee Matthews, policemen. Well, the Lolly boys should get out there because everyone else is in it. This is ugly. This is very ugly.
It's also Australian ruled football. Whether they like it or not, it happens.
There is a Collingwood player who is down.
Gavin Brown.
Gavin Brown is down, but I saw what Gavin Brown did, and then he was cleaned up. All umpires have their notebooks out. Let's go to Ron Barassi.
Well, it might be Australian football, but it's a very bad example of it. This is going to 80 million people around the world, 8 million people in Australia, and is an absolutely disgraceful advertisement for our game. If you can't play football without that sort of thing happening, where the hell is it?
My only comment is that Gavin Brown is full forward for Collingwood, and he's laying in real trouble in the back line for Collingwood because he ran the entire length of the ground. Not beyond a stretcher from what went on, and umpire Saws puts the ball down in the second term of the grand final, knocked out by Madden. It's spilled out towards Izzard. Izzard tries to get possession of the ball on outer wing position and does it nicely. This is a 50-metre kick to Salmon, punched away down there by Christian. Overrunning the ball, Essendon players, but Mick McGuan picks it up. Draws the opposition and hand passes out to Monkhorst, who kicks it down towards Starcevic. And Starcevic goes out in front of Terry Danaher, marks. Hand passes to Little Russell, 50 metres. 50 metres, courtesy of umpire Saws. What do you think of that, Ron Barassi?
Yes, I think the infringement was there, and the umpires have already shown that they have the ability, not the ability, but the temperament today, the inclination to play 50 metres. This is the second one for the game so far.
Starcevic stands 30 metres directly in front at the main scoreboard end. 58, 59, 60 seconds in, and it's a goal! It's a goal to Collingwood. 3-5-23 Magpies. Essendon 2-2-14, a minute and a quarter in. 3AW Dan Murphy Sellers scoreboard.
Well, Terry would be very unhappy about that. Very glad to see Gavin Brown off the field, his original opponent in the first quarter. Interesting enough, I wonder if Gavin Brown has concussion, because if he's got concussion and it's a severe one, according to the medical rules, I believe that he's not allowed to come back on the ground.
A minute and a half in the second turn, the Dan Murphy Sellers scoreboard on 3AW. That goal to Starcevic burst the Magpies to 3-5-23. Essendon 2-2-14. Pushing and shoving everywhere as the ball goes down from umpire Dennis Ritz. It was knocked out by Monkhorst, went down towards Spawn. Hand pass to Kransberg, who wasn't ready. Running around Tony Francis on the left-hand pass across there into the area of Kelly. Kelly accepts the hand pass with glee and kicks it to Starcevic from behind Terry Danaher, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Well, Starcevic is the man that's turned it around for Collingwood, I think, since he came on the ground. He's given them a bit of bite into the attack. It's out of bounds on the outer side now. Monkhorst in there. Monkhorst got it. Nothing decisive about it, but in doing so, out of it all, there's going to be a free kick to Collingwood, and it's going to the big player in Monkhorst. He hand passes quickly across field, and away they go, coming up from McGuan, up towards the full forward spot. It's knocked away. There's a chance here for Essendon if they're quick enough. Pushing it out there over towards the boundary line, and it's out of bounds to be thrown in the forward pocket on the member side of the ground at the railway end. 2.5 minutes into the second quarter, Collingwood 3-5, have an advantage over Essendon 2-2. The ball spinning back into play now, everyone's swiping away. It went to ground, play on as a call. Out of it all comes Francis, and he snapped it and hit the post. I was just about to say he'd snapped another goal, but it hit the post, as Salmon did, the same post too for that matter, in the first quarter, and the point will go to Collingwood, and Anthony Danaher, who was doing a lot of work settling his younger brother down early, is going to kick the ball back into play. Out it comes, and he kicks it out to Spawn. Spawn on the half-back flank on the member's side of the ground and defending at the railway end. Spawn coming up to take the kick for Essendon. Kicks it around towards centre wing position. In the middle there was Watson. Watson gets it on the bounce and retrieves it. Kicks it across field. Over and he knew what he was doing. He kicked it to Terry Danaher coming upfield. The crowd hooting Danaher. Could only be Collingwood supporters hooting that player. He hand passed to Spawn. Spawn kicks it up towards the half-forward line, knocked away, it's back over towards centre wing, a chance here for Starcevic again. He's unloaded, down to the ground, knocked away to be picked up by McGuan, wobbling away, up to the centre half-forward spot with his kick, knocked away by Madden, down to ground it goes. Collingwood full of running over there on that outer flank, and picked up by Krasiska, kicks it in towards goal, and he's popped it through with a left foot snap, and the Magpies are alight. They are now 4 goals, 6-30, a 16-point advantage over Essendon, 2-2 run.
Well, Collingwood certainly got momentum up at the stage, and we might say at a half-time or after the match, depending upon the result, of course, that skirmish between the quarters 1 and 2 set Collingwood alight. To see their champion off might have been just the motivation they needed, but right now they've certainly got a run over the top of Essendon.
Umpire Rowan Saws puts the ball down, 4.5 minutes in, and it's knocked out by Madden, but it went straight down to McGuan again. A fresh air shot back to Monkhorst, scooped it on. Here comes Kransberg under enormous pressure. Anderson has to lift and does so and kicks it forward, but Tony Shaw versus Kickett. Kickett doesn't go for the football. Tony Shaw, as usual, battling out in front of himself. Under the applaudance of the crowd, Tony Shaw will go back and wait for the crumbs from this throw-in. So the ball is out of play on centre wing on the members' side. The ball now back into the stadium. Monkhorst versus Madden. Monkhorst might have won it. Got it down to Shaw. Izard intercepts, kicks it over his shoulder, and out of bounds on the full is the result. And Tony Francis of Collingwood has got the kick. Plays on, no one on the mark. Goes down towards half forward, Starcevich. Over the top, Terry Danaher. On the spill is Barwick. Can he make it sit? Yes, he can. The dust flies. He picks it up. Hand passes to Mullane. Kicks it off the ground looking for Francis. That player couldn't take it under possession. Bomber Thompson comes through. Here comes Kickett. Tackled high. Out to Anderson. Essendon away. Down towards the wing position. Up as Kelly. Couldn't take the mark. Really gutsy stuff there. Saw the ball go to Watson. On the rebound right. A small kick finds McGuan. And Collingwood are away.
Centre wing position on the member side of the ground. Up to Dacos. And Dacos is marked. At centre half forward, Dacos is marked. Essendon are rattled. There's no question about it. Kickett for one is trying to play the man. Dacos' kick is spinning up towards the goal square. Knocked to the ground, but there's a free kick to Anthony Danaher being held up there, and he will take the free kick coming out between the goal posts. It's 4-6 to 2-2. Coming out to take the kick now. He's not going to kick, he's going to hand pass out wide over there to Izard. He's got to be quick. Might have been holding the ball. Yep. Well, you've got to get rid of it quickly today, that's for sure. And it was right, it was holding the ball. Now there's a 50-metre penalty against Izard. The Collingwood Social Club will collapse. Here's the penalty free kick, and there's another niggle going on behind the ground, behind play. And the player with the ball will take his kick from plumb in front of goal. Looked like it might have been Russell. Plumb in front of goal at the railway end. Coming in to take the kick now, and he's put it on its way. It's another one to Collingwood. And they are 5-6 to 2-2. And Sam, I said Essendon were rattled. I think they are.
You've hit it right on the head, Bill. They're rattled, and Rex, you called it beautifully down here. Tony Shaw and Kickett went for the ball. Kickett had no intention of going for the ball. Shaw kept his eye on it, went for the hard ball, and that is the difference between the two sides at the minute. Collingwood are trying to play the ball and get it through the goals. Essendon are trying to play the man and trying to belt them into submission.
For Collingwood, goals to Dacos, Brown, Starcevich, Krasiska and Russell. For Essendon, Salmon has booted 2. 7.5 minutes. Ball back in the centre with umpire Rich.
Collingwood have put their authority on the game. They're 5-6 to 2-2, and down it goes in the middle of the ground. In there doing the ruck work, Salmon. Monkhorst, I think, defeated him for it. Collingwood pretty nippy and fresh. Francis came away, knocked away by Kickett. Out there to Anderson. Anderson can't get into the act. Izard had it, was knocked to the ground, and will get the free kick. No. The free kick going to Russell of Collingwood. And a little bit of a Tate down there with Barwick, but the ball kicked up by Russell up towards the full forward spot, and it's a mark over there to Collingwood, a mark to Krasiska, I think, coming in towards the full forward spot, and Collingwood on 5-6 to 2-2 are alight, and Krasiska, who dobbed one from the outer flank, has got a chance of kicking another. 8.5 minutes into the second quarter, and Collingwood are giving Essendon a football lesson in discipline, if nothing else. Now it's with skill that Krasiska kicks it through, and Collingwood have gone on to 6-6. A great lead, a handy lead. 6 goals, 6-42 to Essendon, 2-2-14.
And what's taken place in the centre, Graham Bond?
Well, Collingwood clearing the ball out of the centre this quarter 3 times. Krasiska's had 2 kicks for the quarter and put through 2 goals. Russell's picked up 3 kicks, including 2 free kicks in this quarter. And the Bombers, only 2 players have got 2 touches this quarter. Anderson's had 2 kicks, and Izard, just off the ground, had picked up 2 kicks before he left the field just then.
Ron Barassi.
Well, Krasiska, one of the most improved players in the side, a Queenslander, really showing some form today. Floated across the front of a pack, a la Royce Hart then.
28 points the difference at the MCG. 9 minutes in the second term, knocked out by Monkhorst. Here comes Watson trying to lift his team. The ball spills clear for Shaw to kick it to half forward. Terry Danaher out in front of Starcevich, couldn't get the run of the football. Starcevich's hand passes to Francis. Francis in turn back to Russell. He's intercepted. The ball comes out and there's a free kick. Free kick to Collingwood. And it's against Kickett, and it's going to go to Russell. It's against Derek Kickett and going to go to Scott Russell of Collingwood. 40 metres out at the main scoreboard end. 9.5 minutes in this second term. So it is Russell. And the Little Rover lines it up from 45 metres out and puts this boot on to the ball onto the boot, and it's a goal! And Collingwood are on fire. The Magpies are just alight here at the MCG to burst to 7-6-48. Essendon 2-2-14, 10 minutes in. Ron Barassi.
Well, Collingwood have scored the last 7 goals. Essendon hasn't scored in the last 25 minutes, and on a day like this, a perfect day for football. A little bit of a win, but a perfect day really. That's a very, very bad sign. Collingwood are full of running, showing their advantage in pace and using it to the full.
Well, I'm surprised that Sheedy hasn't done something about Kickett. He's given away 3 bad free kicks, unnecessary. Down in the middle of the ground it is. Monkhorst won it, got it down to Russell. Russell's kick travels about 8 metres. Essendon bewildered, out to Watson. Watson now getting away onto the left foot. They need about 3 goals in a hurry. He kicks it to the half-forward line. Up there will be Long, and he took a good mark in front of 2 Collingwood players. Long has taken the mark. Now he's breaking clear out towards the centre of the ground. Hand passes to Kickett, his companion on the bench last week. Onto the left foot. Kickett has kicked in towards a centre half forward. Kelly had a chance to mark the ball, failed to do so. Salmon knocked it away, but Collingwood are backing up better, and Morwood takes the ball and kicks it around the outer side of the ground very cleverly and skillfully over the line out of bounds to be thrown in. Between centre wing and half forward flank for Essendon, who are gasping for breath at the moment. It's 7-6 to 2-2 with Collingwood leading 11.5 minutes into the second quarter, and the boundary umpire propelling it back into play. Monkhorst in there. Madden down to the ground it went, out towards the boundary line with Long in pursuit. Picked it up, a long hand pass out to Spawn, and Spawn got the fiddles and the faddles, and it went over the line out of bounds. Essendon are uneasy, there's no question about it. They're fumbling, and Collingwood gaining in confidence every second. The ball coming back into play. In there, Madden, beaten by Monkhorst. Down into the pack it went. Nobody able to take it out, and the ball's going to be bounced on centre wing on the outer side of the ground. That's 7-6 to 2-2, 12 minutes into the second quarter. Collingwood a handsome lead at the moment in the grand final. In there, Madden, knocked away by Monkhorst. Down the ground it went. Collingwood striving to get it out. Eventually they did, and coming in there to take the ball or kick it off the ground was Kickett. It didn't travel very far. It's located on centre wing outer side. Umpire allowing play to go on. It went on out to Francis very quickly. He lost the run of it to be picked up by Banks, and Banks handball tumbled over the line to be thrown in. At centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Collingwood 7-6 to 2-2. 12.5 minutes into the second quarter of the grand final. Back into play it comes. Spinning. In there doing the ruck work with Van der Haar trying to lift. Knocked to the ground. Kick a tumble over the top of it. Out towards Barwick. Barwick went in hard. Kicked it off the ground. Out to Russell. Russell a hand pass out to Shaw. Shaw drills the ball up to Dacos. Over his head it went. Anthony Danaher coming out will have to be kicked. And he kicks it onto the left foot around the member side of the ground. Gayfer coming up here to intercept it. Gayfer has it. Nearly had his head taken off by Harvey, and a very careless tackle, and the free kick goes to Gayfer. Gayfer on the centre wing position on the member's side of the ground. Collingwood gaining in confidence every minute. Gayfer now, centre wing on the member's side. Centre wing and booting it long up towards the half forward line. Ruckman gathered there. It's knocked down to the ground. A chance here for Starcevic. A headache for Essendon. Down into the back goes Grenfell. Out it comes to Watson. Watson a hand pass to Kickett. Put him under all the trouble in the world. Watson backs up, can't pick it up. Slung aside by Francis. Collingwood going in fiercely. Out to Long. Long tapped it away. Didn't want it. Out to right. Long's pinched it. The umpire. That was a classic case of play on. He's going to come in and bounce it. 7-6 to 2-2 on centre wing member side. Collingwood knocked out by Monkhorst down to Francis. Right foot kick up towards the half forward line. And there is Krasiska. Dropped a mark. Knocked to the ground. A chance for Essendon through Hamilton. Casual picks it up and kicks it around the member side of the ground, and dropping back is Wright to take the mark.
Very good mark by Graham Wright, and he's got a short. Russell's under pressure from Anderson. Two-fisted to weigh the ball, but good pace, anticipation, a rocket-like hand pass to Mullane. Anderson's down. He's hurt. McGuan. Marks on right half forward for Collingwood. Anderson's hurt his shoulder. McGuan saying, I'm going to kick this football long. Dacos will go right over the top, nearly take the mark. The ball comes down to Grenvold. He'll bounce it half back. He'll run around and kick a low trajectory kick to the lead of Simon Madden. The ball bounces. He gives it to Bomber Thompson. Thompson kicks it long down towards the big fellow Somerville. Couldn't take the mark. On the spill, Kerrison. Over the top to Kelly. The ball doesn't sit, but it goes nicely for Buick. Buick runs around. He lines it up from the forward pocket and is kicked to behind. Essendon 2-3-15, Collingwood 7-6-48. That's their first score for quite some time, Ron Barassi.
Yes, it is. They needed that one. It was well done. The shot was set up very, very well, but of course the angle was quite acute, and one really wouldn't blame him for missing that.
Kerrison will kick out towards the centre of the ground, centre half back. The ball off the top of the pack to Shaw. Hand passes to McGuan. He had Morwood, but now he's got Christian on the outer wing position. Christian's got control of the football and kicks it down to the leading Barwick. And Barwick over the top of Grenvold has taken a perler. So Barwick goes outside 50. Kick it coming off for Essendon, and Izard back on. Kick it off, Izard on. And Barwick lines this football up from 57 metres out. And this has gone a long way. In fact, so long it's behind. Collingwood a 7-7-49. Essendon 2-3-15. 15 minutes in. Dan Murphy Sellers scoreboard on 3AW football. Certainly, Essendon need a lift. They're really bewildered as Anthony Danaher kicks it outside 50, looking for his brother Terry, who stopped. Knocked away by Monkhorst. On the spill, Bomber Thompson picks it up and kicks it to the leading Madden. Madden's up, couldn't take it, but Christian burst through the pack. Cop one, hand pass to Shaw. Plays on to Russell. Under pressure, back to Shaw. Good turn, hand pass out to McGuan. McGuan outside 50 has got a lead from Dacos. Puts it in the air over his head. Here comes Anthony Danaher in a lot of trouble. The spill comes to Watson, and Watson will kick it out, and taking the mark will be Chris Danaher.
On the outer side of the ground on the half-back flank, the younger Danaher takes the mark and kicks it wide to Spawn. Spawn went up one hand, lost it, tackled by Morwood, play on as the call. Spawn picks it up onto the left foot and kicks it high in towards centre half forward. Buick and Kerrison. Kerrison spoiled effectively. Buick backs up, hand pass out, it'll go back to Spawn. Half forward flank outer side of the ground, a hand pass to nobody. Out it goes to centre half forward. Madden's picked it up, no he hasn't, knocked away by Buick, coming across the path of the ball over there on the half forward flank, and Collingwood through Kerrison clear up towards centre wing. Cransberg spoils effectively, out to Anderson, who's done nothing, doesn't look as if he's interested. Anderson comes out to centre wing position, now he picks up and turns around, makes a liar out of me, kicks it up towards the forward line. Collingwood through Kelly, pick it up and boot it long round towards centre wing on the member side of the ground, and coming to take the mark there is Russell on centre wing position on the member side of the ground. Essendon had a psychologist in during the week. They better get him because they're being clearly outthought here. Up towards the half forward line, knocked over towards the boundary line, knocked further afield by Starcevic, and Essendon have got no answer to Collingwood at all. Not one. 7-7 to 2-3 Collingwood on the 3AW scoreboard. 17 minutes into the grand final, the second quarter of the grand final, with the boundary umpire now 70 metres out from goal at the railway scoreboard end, spinning it back into play. In there, Salmon knocked away from him, down to the ground it goes. Always at the bottom of the pack is Francis. Lost it, goes out there to Watson, picks it up quickly. He drives in towards centre wing on the member side of the ground. Banks in the front berth. Sun spoiled his effort to mark. Down to Kerrison. Kerrison a hand pass to Shaw. Always running by and kicked out by Shaw, and it ricochets off the boot of Chris Danaher. I thought it did, over the line out of bounds. So the ball to be thrown in 17.5 minutes into the second quarter. Centre wing position, member side, 7-7 to 2-3. Collingwood leading, Salmon in the ruck now. Essendon would have been loath to have him up there, but they've got him in there now. Kicked off the ground by Mullane. Mullane up to Russell, too good for Chris Danaher. Kicks it off the ground. Bomber Thompson slips over. Francis again, picks it up beautifully. From the half forward line, his kick is flying over towards the boundary line. Over there in the forward pocket area, it's loose now, and it's tumbled over to be thrown in the forward pocket on the member side. The railway scoreboard end 18 minutes into the second quarter of the grand final. 7-7 to 2-3. Collingwood leading and leading handsomely. The ball spinning back into play in the front berth. Salmon. Monkhorst had a swipe at it, missed it. Everybody else might have got a nail to it. Down to the ground it goes. Coming in there, Terry Danaher battling his heart out, and the ball has tumbled over the line with Francis having a flying shot when the ball was out of bounds and kicked it into the crowd. 7-7 to 2-3. Collingwood leading 18.5 minutes into the second quarter of the grand final. That's 49 to 15. A very fine lead at 19 minutes, coming up the 19-minute mark. Kickett has paid for his sins and he's coming back onto the ground and Madden off, and he's had plenty of sins, Kickett. The ball coming back into play now on the forward pocket member side, down there at the railway end, back into play. Monkhorst thumped it up towards the full forward spot. Coming over there was Danaher, Anthony Danaher, and it rolled through for 1 point. So at 19 minutes in, it's Collingwood 7-8-50, half a century, leading Essendon 2-3-15 on the 3AW scoreboard, the 3AW Dan Murphy Sellers scoreboard, and the ball about to be kicked back into play by Anthony Danaher.
Anthony Danaher gets a lead down there from Van der Haar, and he's going to make Van der Haar wait and prop. Kerrison Shepherds, the umpire didn't see it. The thumb came from Mullane. Over the top is Buick. Kerrison dives on the football, maintains possession, and excellent play by Kerrison. Excellent play, Kerrison, as umpire Dennis Rich will bounce this football 35 metres out on the right half forward flank for Collingwood. going at full strength and full pace towards the main scoreboard, and nearly 20 minutes have gone into this second term. So Collingwood in control in the 1990 Grand Final, knocked out by Salmon, intercepted by Buick, looking for a free kick, and the ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. 46.5 metres around from the Collingwood goal. The ball now back into the stadium. It's high. It sits nicely. Knocked out. It went down towards Grenvold, and he's kicked it over the boundary line inside, and the ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. So Essendon certainly need a couple, perhaps 2 or 3 before they go in at half-time. The ball now out of the shadow into the sun, knocked out by Monkhorst, did it again looking for Francis. He couldn't get it, and upended is the Essendon player Izzard, and he'll take the free kick, much to the delight of the Essendon fans.
On the half-back flank on the member side of the ground, they've got to hustle along the Bombers, 7-8 to 2-3, as Izzard pilots the ball up towards centre wing position. Coming in there is Van der Haar. I fancy tapped it away, went down to Mullane, who read it well, bouncing his way across towards the centre of the ground, casually turned around to get back onto the right foot for balance, knocked it down. Monkhorst and Starcevic whacked it. Monkhorst came in, got it with all the ease in the world, kicked it back up towards the centre half forward spot. The umpire called play on, and the ball will be bounced. Better off than centre half forward for Collingwood as they head down towards the railway end. 21 minutes have gone by, and it's 7-8 to 2-3. Collingwood leading on the 3RW Dan Murphy Sellers scoreboard, and the boundary umpire, their field umpire, bouncing it now at approximately centre half forward. Monkhorst got it down towards Bowick. It's kicked in mid-air out towards Chris Danaher. He gathers it in, tackled immediately by Dacos, got it across very quickly over there to brother Anthony. Anthony Danaher took his time to get rid of it, kicked into the centre of the ground. Shaw, always a roundabout, gets it out to right with handball. Right kicks it to the half-forward line. In the front berth was Monkhorst. He kept Kransberg out of the way. Morwood knocked it down to the ground. Still on the half-forward line, member side, Collingwood's end. And the umpire... The umpire's paid holding the ball. He must have good eyes. He might have a telescope there because he's picked it out for Izzard, and Izzard takes it. That's got to be a 50-metre penalty. No, Izzard made it. The man, Francis, is supposed to give it back to the player in a comfortable position. He didn't, but I think Izzard helped him, and on the half-back flank he gets the free kick. Gets it round up towards centre wing on the member side of the ground, and the umpire's found another free kick, and this time it's Van der Haar, who was prominent early in the game, faded out, but most of the Essendon players have. Van der Haar on the half-back, on the centre wing position on the member side, 22 minutes into the quarter, kicking up to the punt road end. He's looking for a lead, and there's everyone covered, doesn't know who to kick it to. They're bewildered, Essendon. Van der Haar has kicked it long, hoping that Madden will do something for him. Coming across the back was Somerville. Gaffer knocked it away. Salmon was there, kicker picked it up, kicks in towards the goal square, taken under control here, and kicking it very quickly is Spawn, and he missed it. A very disappointing kick for Essendon that he had to turn and kick quickly, but it was a bad snap, and Essendon go on to 2-3, 2-4-16, trailing Collingwood 7-8-50, 23 minutes into the quarter.
And this time McGuan is going to bring this football back from the punt road defensive area for Collingwood, kicks it outside 50, looking for Kelly. Over the top, Kelly takes a good mark in front of Van der Haar. Hand passes on to Mullane, who bounces, runs to the boundary line and brings it back, but Chris Danaher could have taken that mark and didn't, and the ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds. That's indicative of their play, Ron Barassi.
Yes, I mean, when you can't take a simple mark like that, he's obviously had his eyesight should be tested.
Salmon versus Monkhorst. Monkhorst strength plus, tapped it down, went to Buick. A high ball to Buick down towards Kelly and Van der Haar from behind Van der Haar. On the top of the spill, and the crumbs was right. Running around, hand passes to Mullane, who's got all the time in the world. Have a cup of tea if you'd like. Kicks it down towards centre wing position, and Salmon goes up and takes a good defensive mark for Essendon on the left centre wing, with Essendon going down to the punt road end of the MCG. So Salmon, a 45-metre kick to half forward. The big thump came down there. Long picks it up, dispossessed, knocked it on. Right in turn, tapped it on, and the umpire Saws has a close look. It went out to Spawn. Spawn's got kick it. Kick it is 30 metres out in front of Christian. And Christian, all he could do there was have a look at Kickett. And Kickett really has to make amends for a couple of misdemeanours. Van der Haar is down on his haunches, and Kickett, well, he didn't kick it right, and the football goes behind. So Essendon at 2-4-16, Collingwood at 7-8-50, make that 2-5-17. 3RW Dan Murphy Sellers scoreboard.
Well, Kerrison about to kick it back into play. Essendon will have to regroup pretty well at half time if they want to get into this. It's Kerrison now, kicking wide over towards the outer side of the ground. They massed there, off the palms of Mullane, down it went, kick it in there also. The ball eventually came out very quickly there, booted quickly by Watson upfield, up towards the full forward spot. Good spoiling tactics, puts the ball out, kick it, had it, and a long hand pass. I think that might have been touched, that kick. No, it isn't. It's a goal. A very good kick, that one. A very good kick from Pickett, and it's through for a goal just on the time on period of the second quarter. And Essendon 3-5 trail Collingwood 7-8.
And Sam Newman on 3AW.
Well, I think that's very fortunate. Kicker kicked that goal. He was about as useful as a fly-wire door in a submarine before that, so he's done pretty well to kick that goal, but they're still in desperate trouble.
Well, we can still crack it for some funnies. The ball back in the centre of the ground, and down it comes, and might have been Madden Salmon getting the better of it. It spills out. Mullane there. Mullane has put Anderson out of business. He kept the ball in flow, got it out to right, and right from centre wing has kicked it high up towards the centre half forward spot. Danaher and Starcevic wrestling. Coming across the pack there was O'Donnell. Down to the ground it goes at centre half forward. You've got to be quick to get a free kick here. The ball knocked out. It's going to be picked up there very quickly, or is it by Thompson? No. Playing as a call. The crowd want a free kick. Anything goes, and the ball keeps on going, and eventually came out to Russell onto the left foot, intercepted by Anthony Danaher, who's playing reasonably well. Kicks it onto the left foot, in towards the centre of the ground, but he's kicked it straight to Banks. Banks is marked in the pit of the stomach, kicking it long at 26 minutes into the quarter. Up there is Terry Danaher. Good spoiling by Collingwood. Down to ground. Francis had it. Down to the ground again. Maybe a push in the back. Play on was a call. The ball spills out. Salmon looking a bit bewildered about it all. It's gone into the forward pocket. Starcevic leading in the race for the ball. Spawn loath to tackle. Starcevic has kicked it upfield. The umpire's called play on. Play on it is, and the umpire's going to come in and bounce the ball on the half forward flank for Collingwood on the outer side at the railway end. 7-8 to 3-5 as we tick past 26 minutes in the second quarter of the grand final, and bang it goes down on the turf over there on that half forward flank for Collingwood. To and throw it goes. It's picked up eventually there by Chris Danaher. He kicks it upfield, but a good mark taken over there by Tony Shaw. Pepper and salt this fellow on centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Now he's kicked it in towards the forward pocket area. Coming in the front berth of Salmon. Didn't mark it, knocked it down, went to Anthony Danaher. He clears, kicks up towards the centre of the ground. Kranzberg has done very little. Tried to knock it away. It went out to Long. Long has put in. Kicks it up towards Kickett. He read the bounce well. He's got it at centre half forward. Has a long kick for goal. It's going to go over towards the forward pocket. Bounces awkwardly. A chance here for Banks. Everything. It's their day. It bounced for him. Hand pass to Kerrison. Kerrison short. In towards the half forward line. Taking it away there will be Christian at centre half back. Driving it across to Moncourt. And Collingwood have got the flow of the ball at centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Moncourt has it. Wrenches free from a tackle. Hand passes to Christian. They're too eager, Collingwood. Out towards Starcevic. Starcevic upset there by Terry Danaher. Putting in. Slipped over on the half back flank on the outer side of the ground. Crowd hooting. Danaher knocks it away. It's still on the half forward flank for Collingwood on that outer side. Picked up by Russell. In towards the full forward spot it is. Out to Salmon. Got rid of it quickly. Down to Izard. Izard out again. Back to Salmon. To and fro there, fiddling around. And it went to Grenfell. Grenfell hand pass out to Terry Danaher. Half back flank outer side of the ground. He kicked for the boundary line. I think Christian's got it under control. A hand pass out very quickly to Shaw. Shaw plonks it in. Intercepted there, and the mark is taken over there by Russell. It may be. It is on that half forward flank. Driving towards centre half forward to Barwick. And that completes a passage of play. And Barwick's got the mark at centre half forward. And a 50-metre penalty. Ron Barassi.
But I suppose that's correct. I mean, the guy took the mark and was dealt with
the
afterwards.
Man's gone. Doesn't matter. Unbelievable.
I must say, I reckon the umpiring has been pretty good so far today.
I wasn't talking about the umpire when I said unbelievable.
Oh.
As you could gather. And a Collingwood kick. They'll kick a goal before half-time at 7-8 to 3-5. Barwick's got it plumb in front as a result of a penalty free kick. And here he comes. Essendon tails down, heads down. Barwick kicks a goal. And it's 8-8. 8-8 it is. To 3-5, 28 and a half minutes in.
Well, Sam Newman.
Well, of course, we wouldn't be privy to this, Bill, but I would say there's been a definite plan by Collingwood to run Essendon off their legs. At every opportunity Collingwood have played on, they've made them run across the ground, they've made them chase, and I'd say that was a definite game plan by Collingwood, working on the fact that Essendon have the older legs. And I suppose until that blew at the end of the first quarter, you'd have to say they were doing it pretty well. But since then, Collingwood have gone for the ball and Essendon have not.
So Collingwood in complete control, approaching the halfway mark of the 1990 Grand Final, and Izard is having a little bit of a buff with Francis, the emergency umpire, but Collingwood go forward again through McGuan. Down to centre half forward, Starcevic couldn't get it, but Bomber Thompson hand passes to Hamilton, who spears a nice looking pass out to Spawn, who must lift. Morwood's giving him plenty of trouble there. Spawn runs around on the emblem. On wing position, kicks to half forward to Kransberg. One-handed is not good enough in the grand final, my boy. Over the top of the ball, Somerville hit him right on the top of the scone. Coming out to Morwood, a hand pass to Christian. On the draw, looks for Starcevic. And the film star has got it on the centre wing position. Transfers play to Marty McMahon, but thumped away by Salmon. Essendon need numbers. It comes from Cranberg. He lopes along, gives it to Bomber Thompson, who's claimed by Shaw, who's magnificent. On the spill, Monkhorst gives it to Mullane in the centre of the ground. A long ball. Izard, you've got to go. He punches it away. Izard spurts out in front of Dacos and concedes the football over the boundary line. I called him, he had to go. And the ball's out of play on half forward.
He didn't want it. It's on the half forward line on the member side of the ground, and back into play it comes. Essendon desperate, but not desperate enough. It went down to McGuan. McGuan breaking clear. Tackled by Chris Danaher. Out to Russell it went. Russell's kick travelled a metre or two. Punched out. It came out to Watson. Watson a hand pass over there to Grenfell onto the left foot and driving it around the member side of the ground. Coming up there and coming up to take the mark is Mullane. Mullane taking a bump from Somerville. Didn't take any notice of Somerville. That's what they think of him. And now Mullane has kicked it out to Monkhorst, playing a reasonable game, and standing the mark there will be Buick. Essendon all over the place like the crazy woman. 8-8 to 3-5, and Monkhorst kicking it from centre wing position in towards centre half forward. High they go, knocked down to the ground. Chance here for Essendon. Collingwood have got numbers wherever they look, and now it's passed out from Danaher. Chris Danaher to Spawn eventually. Spawn onto the right foot into the middle of the ground. Tony Shaw, superb, has taken the mark. Hand passes to Kerrison. Back to Shaw. Shaw on the left foot, driving towards the forward pocket, and over there is Barwick. Barwick is marked at 31.5 minutes into the quarter. He's on the 50-metre line on the outer side of the ground and kicking up towards the railway scoreboard end. Siren is gone. Barwick, who was no mean kick, has gone back to have a fly at this one. The man standing the mark is approximately 40 metres out. That man is Grenfell. Barwick bringing in lungs full of air, having a shot. Nobody back. Yes, there is. Salmon back in the goal square. Barwick comes in to put it on its way. It's a chance. Got the distance easily, but it's a point only. So at half-time, after a dominating first half, Collingwood go in with 8-9-57, leading Essendon 3-5-23.
Another fight threatens to break out. The Collingwood fans are delirious with this scoreboard. 8-9-57, leading Essendon 3-5-23.
They're the stats, and it shows that Collingwood 114 to Essendon 93.
Well, I thought Collingwood wanted the ball a lot more than Essendon. A lot of the Essendon players in that quarter going for the ball one-handed. Collingwood are attacking it with two. Look at the handballs, 62 to 34, and they're all decisive handballs, Ross.
They're far more creative, and their midfield play has been very, very good.
In the 1990 Grand Final.
Umpire Dennis Rich will start this second half of this game. And the ball shines in the sun that was knocked out and kicked forward by Buick. Over the top of the ball, Long for Essendon, knocks it on. Here comes Kicker to the views of the crowd. Coming through Long, kicks a short kick down 30 metres, looking for the lead of Harvey, who jumps over the top of the pack. There may have been a free kick there, and it comes out and it's picked up by Mullane. He kicks a spiral punt out towards the wing position. Terry Danaher thumps it away from Jamie Turner. Over the top, Kransberg. The ball comes around there towards Francis. Francis has got the football, and Francis has got the free kick on left half back for Collingwood. He's got a lead. It comes down there from Starcevic, but up was Vanderhaar. Couldn't take it. Watson spins into trouble and then out. He gets it across to Madden. Madden goes down to kick it from behind. Couldn't take the mark. Gafer on the spill. Intercepted by Kerrison. Hand passing to Wright. Wright has got a short kick out to the lead of Starcevic. Starcevic has got 20 metres. He's got time to run around in the shadow and kick it down to the lead of Dacos. Couldn't take the mark. On the rebound, O'Donnell kicks it back to Hamilton. McGuan threads his way through. Out of bounds on the full. Mighty Mick McGuan as the football did not turn over for the boy. And the ball sailed over the boundary line and out of bounds. So Vanderhaar has got this football. And he's going to kick it out from right back pocket for Essendon, defending at the punt road end. A minute and a half in the third term. The Dutchman kicks it just outside 50. Terry Danaher up and marks in front of Monkhorst. And Terry Danaher plays on. He's got a lead across there, the other side to Grenvold. And Bomber Thompson goes up and takes the mark. So Bomber Thompson has taken the mark in front of Jamie Turner. He's limping. He kicks a 40-metre kick down to Long. Over the top, Hamilton couldn't take it, but coming through Mullane. Hand passes to Tony Shaw, who's got Monkhorst who'll mark. Monkhorst kneels down and takes the mark like a big giraffe. And Monkhorst has got this football. He's told to play on. He's got the short Starcevic. And all Anthony Danaher could do was to watch Starcevic take the mark. He's too far out to score, or is he? Chris Danaher lining up for the Essendon side as Kransberg will come off. But more importantly, Starcevic has booted one. He's at 55 metres and kicks this ball high and long and almost over the boundary line and out of bounds. But a resultant good mark taken by Terry Danaher.
Well, right throughout this week discussing this game, I've said Essendon are fidgety, or were fidgety, and they're fidgety today, and the ball's kicked back into play, and the mark taken over there by Terry Danaher onto the right foot, and he boots it around towards centre wing position. Over there was Harvey overrunning the ball, hasn't had a sniff. The ball bouncing awkwardly, kick it tight to kick it off the ground, back to Harvey. Harvey too slow at the moment, hand pass out to anyone that was going for. Chris Danaher made it good, and from round about centre wing, he's kicked the ball up towards the full forward spot. Collingwood combine effectively, knock it down out to Gayfer. Gayfer coming up from the half-back flank will kick it a centre wing to Starcevic. When you're thinking of best six players, think about this fella for Collingwood, Starcevic, into the centre of the ground to Tony Shaw. Heard the hooves coming along and kicked it quickly, knocked it away, down towards O'Donnell, can't take a trick out to Monkhorst. Monkhorst a hand pass out, Madden coming up, out to the back pocket, or hand passing to Buick coming out onto the half-back flank. Buick onto the left foot, kicks it into Long. He takes the mark between centre wing and centre of the ground. Collingwood players everywhere. The hand pass to Watson. Watson's kicked wide, back to Buick going around the outer side. He'll get the ball at centre wing or better off than that. Hesitates. He who hesitates is lost. Then he's kicked it up towards the half-forward line. Knocked down there by Somerville. Down towards Harvey. Harvey picks up. Not much time to get rid of it. Kicked it high up in the air. Knocked to and fro here and there everywhere. Picked up by Russell onto the left foot. Driving out towards centre wing on the outer side of the ground. And away they go again with the ball being booted by Turner up towards Starcevic, and he's taken the mark. 50-metre penalty against Essendon, I think. And a little bit of a few words being spoken over there on that outer side. On that outer side of the ground on the half-forward flank, the penalty kick will be paid up on the half-forward line. I thought it was Starcevic. I still think it was. And coming up to take his penalty kick, the man standing the mark is either Danaher or Simon Madden. Terry Danaher wasn't wrapped in something that happened over there. And the mark is being stood 40 metres out, practically directly in front of goals. Players congregate around Starcevic. Collingwood are up and about all right, and Essendon are as flat as a night carter's hat. It's 8-9 to 3-5. And here we have Starcevic, who has really sparked Collingwood, in my opinion, when he came onto the ground. Others have done it since, but he doesn't look too well at all. He's groggy, he's on his knees, players going back to him, trainers cluster around him. The score is 8-9 to 3-5, and in there, it's more than Starcevic to his knees. Anthony Danaher was in there for a moment, trying to do even things up by the look of it, and players are congregated there on that half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground with nothing happening. Nothing at all except players pushing, shoving and jostling. And Sam Newman, how do you read it?
Yeah, well, I see the main offender of the incident has been taken off the ground immediately. Van der Haar started that, hit Starcevic. He's been taken off. And they're definitely, as you've mentioned several times, Bill, rattle Essendon. They've got to continue, or they've got to not continue, they've got to start to try and get that actual round thing that's brown. That's called a football. Well,
the kick is being taken by McGuan. Starcevic obviously in no condition to do it. And McGuan will kick from 35 metres out, coming in from the outer side slightly, kicking up towards the punt road end of the ground. McGuan puts it on its way, and it's a goal to Collingwood. And Collingwood have gone on to 9-9. 9 goals, 9. Collingwood, 63 points. Essendon 3-5, 23 points, 3RWNZ scoreboard.
And a mammoth job now, Ron Barassi, for Essendon.
Yes, it's a 40-point lead or thereabouts, and I think it's just too big for Essendon, particularly when they haven't really done anything in this opening 5 or 6 minutes. Nothing really that they've tried has worked, and that's the perfect answer to any sort of incident. Kick a goal.
So 6.5 minutes have gone. Manson comes on to replace Starcevic, who's off, knocked out by Madden, intercepted by McGuan, who's been excellent. Threading his way through is Timmy Watson, hand passing to Spawn in the centre of the ground to the lead of Salmon over that player's head. Criskin couldn't take it. Harvey required. He got support that didn't get it quick enough as Christian kicks it outside 50, looking for Mullane, now on Anthony Danaher, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. So 7 minutes will tick over before this football comes back into the stadium per medium of the boundary umpire. And the crowd can sense history being made here this afternoon. And there's plenty happening as Kickett and Gaffer, but the ball spills forward inside 50 for Essendon. But here comes Francis. He kicks it out of bounds on the full, and resultant free kick will be taken by Anthony Danaher. So Anthony Danaher has this football at left half forward for Essendon, travelling the footy towards the main scoreboard end. This football goes a long way in towards Salmon, but there's a mark to Collingwood, and that looked a little bit like the big fellow Kelly down there to me, as Brown warms up on the bench for Collingwood. Kelly kicks it outside 50. He'll be looking for Monkhorst. Monkhorst in front. Out of the back there, knocked on further afield by Anthony Danaher. Spills to half forward. Here comes Christian askew with kicking towards the centre of the ground. Krasiska kicks it off, and so does Scott Russell. The ball spills clear onto the centre wing position. Look at the pace of Wright gobbling up Spawn. Spawn has got time to run around. He's tackled by Turner, but the ball came out to Barwick. Barwick kicks a high ball. It's down towards Dacos, who'll have to go up with Manson. Behind Terry Danaher. Somerville on the spill. Hand pass to Watson, and for the time being, Essendon away as he kicks it straight to Buick.
Out to Buick on the outer side of the ground. Buick is marked on the half-back line. Watson following up in a desperate effort to thrust Essendon into attack from the centre wing. He drives the ball in towards centre half forward. Coming in there is Salmon. Salmon had a fair slice of that. Down to the ground. I've seen worse than that paid during this year. On the centre half forward spot, and the umpire will bounce the ball. I don't think there's a team playing the game could take this premiership away from Collingwood at the moment. Brown is coming back on at the centre half forward spot. The ball is bounced, and that might lift them a bit more. Hazard picked it up and kicked it wide out towards the half forward line on the member side of the ground. Harvey, who looks slow today to me, it's over the line out of bounds to be thrown in the forward pocket. The Collingwood supporters, Brown, naughty boy, fronting up to Danaher. You might get a whack in the gob. The ball back in a play, down it goes. Morwood brings it away. Brown is looking for trouble and he might get it. The ball kicked back to centre wing, sprawling forward, nearly taking the mark was Krasiska, picked up there by Hamilton, coming by at centre wing on the member side of the ground, but he's kicked it up to the Collingwood skipper, Tony Shaw. Shaw is marked on the half-back flank on the member side, defending at the scoreboard end. He's kicked it close to the boundary line. Monkhorst came in. They said he'd been out of form lately. Well, he hasn't been today. He's in form. The ball is out of bounds between centre wing, half forward flank for Bombers. Member side going to the scoreboard end, coming up to the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. In there they bustle there, knocked away by Kelly, out to Monkhorst in a roving roll. He brushes the tackles, an excellent hand pass to Francis, beautifully up towards Francis's kick, in towards the, what's that's going to be out of bounds on the full. Brown had actually marked the ball, but of course it's not a mark because the ball was out of play. Now the ball back to Essendon to take their free kick. It'll be taken in the back line on the half-back flank by, no it won't, it's going to be taken, I thought Danaher had it for a moment, but Thompson will probably take it on the half-back flank on the member side of the ground. Coming in to take his kick now and kicks it up towards centre wing, still travelling the member side. The pack flies, knocked away, spoiling tactics down to Hamilton. Hamilton hand pass to Grenfell, in trouble, hand pass it out. Now they get away with the ball being booted by Anthony Danaher up towards centre half forward. Watson gets it, bustled aside by his own player Harvey. Watson kicks it quickly. Kerrison down him after he kicked the ball up towards the full centre half forward area. Kelly came across there. It's loose now, outdoing battle right and long. Tip tap here and there, down to the ground. Nobody able to control it as yet. Still on that half forward flank for Essendon, and the umpire's found a free kick to Essendon, and coming up with a free kick over there on that outer side may be long. No, it's not going to be long. It's going to be the big fellow, or is it, over there on that outer side of the ground in Harvey. Harvey on the half forward flank on the outer side, booting it up. Collingwood players loath to mark it, and I wondered why, but the umpire had blown the whistle and the kick has got to go back. At 10.5, 11 minutes in, Collingwood 9-9 to 3-5, heading towards their 14th premiership by the look of things, because I can't see Essendon doing anything to to cause it to be otherwise. Long got it, hand passed it back to Harvey after all of that and kicked it in towards centre half forward, pushing and shoving. Nobody able to take the mark for Essendon. Down on the ground it goes, fumble here and fumble there. Coming out to take it was Tony Shaw. It's found its way out towards Watson, sprawling forward. Had it, lost the run of it, and it came out quickly to Russell. And away go Collingwood, accelerating over towards the outer side of the ground. Over there will be Turner, and he takes the mark in front of a disappointing Cransburg. At centre wing now, Collingwood through Turner going around that outer flank and kicking it up towards the full forward spot. Coming at the back there was Thompson swishing away. It's loose towards Dacos. Spawn coming in. Couldn't pick it up cleanly. Eventually did. And taking it away, drives it to the outer side of the ground. Over there is Anthony Danaher, and he's taken the mark at centre wing. The umpire calls play on now as Danaher goes around in towards the centre half forward spot. And a pretty good mark taken there for Essendon. Just better off than centre half forward by Somerville. Somerville hand passes to Watson. Watson kicking it towards the forward pocket. Salmon being held. Salmon being held by Christian. And the umpire spotted it at the 12-minute mark of the quarter, and it seems an eternity since Essendon kicked a goal. They're 3-5 to Collingwood 9-9, and Salmon a chance to kick a goal. He started the game brilliantly, but he's been subdued ever since. 9-9 to 3-5, Collingwood leading 3RWNZ scoreboard. Salmon back on the 50-metre line, favouring the members' side of the ground and kicking towards the big scoreboard end at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Here's Salmon now, plumb on the 50-metre line, standing alongside McGuan and the runner and Watson to lend hope and support. Salmon off the line now, coming to take his kick. Christian prances around on the mark. It's a shocking kick. It may be out of bounds, it is, and the free kick will go to Collingwood and be taken up there by Russell.
So the ball's now going to be transferred back, and it'll be given across there towards Kelly. So Kelly of Collingwood has got this free kick, and meantime he kicks it outside 50, but Salmon comes in and marks at 48 metres. So Salmon maybe a little bit too far out. I reckon he's a dead-eye dick from 15 to 20 metres, but past that he seems to not kick through the ball or try to kick through it too much, and therefore Salmon now bends over. And the big praying mantis of Essendon really needs this goal to try and get Essendon back on the right track, and he puts the ball onto the boot, and that is probably the second worst kick you've ever seen. Thumped away from kick it by Gafer into the hands of Banks, in turn to Mullane, and Collingwood are away. Mullane falls over and Harvey kicks it. It was a worm burner. It scooted along the turf and went over the boundary line and out of bounds. Two poor kicks from Barassi by an experienced player.
Yeah, it's very hard to understand unless, of course, the wind is a little stronger than we think. But, gee whiz, they don't need that sort of thing, Essendon.
Somerville will go up in against Morwood. And Somerville is up and he knocked it. It went straight down. It was kicked by Anthony Danaher. He couldn't get it. Went to Kerrison in towards Monkhorst over that player's head. Here comes Barwick. Grenvold overruns the ball and Hamilton picks it up, but he runs straight into Chris Siska. Ball yell the crowd. Turner's got it under trouble. Intercepted by O'Donnell of Essendon. He's looking where to go. He's got no one, and he goes to the open spaces. Tony Shaw, he'll allow the player over there, Mullane, to go in and get it. Mullane runs around on the emblem. Over the top, he'll give it back and Collingwood go forward. This time was a long kick down there by Kelly, down towards centre half forward, but a good mark taken by Madden.
Kicking the ball to the member side of the ground. Spawn comes up and takes the mark on the half-back flank. Coming around the member side of the ground, he's kicked it up to Thompson. Thompson marking near enough to centre wing. Dacos searching for 100 goals, and still three away. And now Thompson comes up to boot it over towards the half-forward flank on the member side. To coming in there to take the mark and taking it well is Kerrison of Collingwood. Kerrison, a late inclusion, although an expected one, coming off the half-back flank and kicking it long up to the half-forward line. Going around the member side of the ground, and that was a good mark to Thompson in front of Dacos. Thompson on the half-back flank on the member's side. 15 minutes in, halfway through the third quarter of the grand final. Kicks it in towards the centre half-forward spot. In front, Kelly dropped the easiest of marks. Banks makes good, breaks away. Tackle there by Chris Danaher, but he hand passed to Wright. They just wrenched themselves clear. Wright's hand pass intercepted by Izard. Pops it onto the left foot quickly, but Banks comes back to take the mark. Playing inspired football, Collingwood. 9-9 to 3-5, sniffing their 14th premiership, and Banks has it at the centre half back spot, defending at the railway or scoreboard end. 15 and a half minutes in. Banks driving it long up towards the centre half forward spot. Over the heads of all players coming out. Coming up there, knocking it away at him was Grenfell. Down to the ground it goes again. At centre half forward for Collingwood. Umpire coming and blowing the whistle, and from a position slightly better than centre half forward, the ball will be bounced down at the punt road end of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. 9-9 to 3-5 as we tick past the 16 16-minute mark of the third quarter of the 1990 Grand Final. Umpire coming in to bounce it now. Does so. In there, knocking it down was Madden. Couldn't get it away. Out it came to O'Donnell. His kick was touched in transit. Up towards Watson, who got a nudge in the back, but play on was a call. It was only a nudge too. The ball on the ground, players on top, and the umpire will bounce the ball at around about centre half forward for Collingwood, going down towards the punt road end. 16 and a half minutes into the third quarter. 9-9 to 3-5. Essendon trailing badly on the 3RWNZ scoreboard, and bang, down it goes there. Knocked away by Madden, intercepted by Morwood. Players kicking, trying to kick it off the ground, and the umpire is forced to blow the whistle. No, he isn't. He let it go. Eventually Morwood came through. Hand passed it out intelligently. Out there to Barwick. Barwick to Francis onto the left foot, in towards the goal square. Knocked down to the ground and taken away by Kransberg. Going towards the outer side of the ground. He slipped and fell. Down on the ground it goes. Going in there was Brown, but eventually it's tumbled over the line to be thrown in. Forward pocket, outer side, punt road end.
Pretty desperate stuff, Collingwood, on that forward line to retain possession in their scoring area. And it's deep in the poo for Essendon down there at the punt road oval. Knocked out by Madden, looking for Bomber Thompson. He didn't let him down, and Thompson kicks it outside 50 down there, looking for Anthony Danaher. The ball came out to Salmon, who was claimed. Back again, looking for Spawn, who wasn't there. Picked up, and the Magpies go forward again through Mullane. On the spill, Dacos. Look at him go. Mr. Magic has kicked the most unbelievable goal you have ever seen in a month of Sundays. Pharaoh the Magician could not have done that. Houdini, eat your heart out, because Dacos is 2 goals away from Stardom kicking 100. And dare I say it, Collingwood look home. 17 and a half minutes, Dacos 2, and Collingwood 10-9-69, Essendon 3-5-23.
Well, there it is back in the centre of the ground, and Dacos has lifted them again. Long knocked it out and went to Buick. Buick's kicked it up towards centre half forward. Banks slapped it down, went to Christian. Hand pass out to Kerrison. Kerrison, tap, 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 here and there it goes. Kick it, lost it. Down on the ground it goes. The umpire said the ball was held to cricket. Kick it. 18 minutes into the quarter. Collingwood 10-9, Essendon 3-5 in the 1990 Grand Final. And the ball coming in now, the umpire coming in now. He slaps it down on the half-forward flank on the member side of the ground. Knocked away by Salmon, down towards Kickett. It's going to be pinched there. Picked up by Shaw. Kicking over towards the member side of the ground. Leg weary players, not right. Right taps it out. And he's got a million miles. Steps on the gas. He accelerates. At centre wing on the member side. Onto the left foot. Kicks it in towards Dacos. Dacos is marked, but the umpire blown the whistle. And the free kick is going backfield to Spawn. Spawn at half-back flank. What was that for? Did anyone tell me?
Too far.
Thought it might have been. Spawn now, kicking up, thanks very much, gentlemen. Off it goes, down to Buick. Buick has a bounce. He accelerates now, doesn't know where to go. He's running into trouble, has the second bounce, crosses a 50-metre line, up towards the centre half forward spot beyond that, and the mark taken by Somerville up there, and the full forward area. And Collingwood 10-9, Essendon 3-5. We see the big fellow Somerville, whose name will always be synonymous with Collingwood and Essendon games. At 19 minutes into the quarter, 10-9 to 3-5 on the 3RWNZ scoreboard. And Somerville about 25 to 30 metres out, plumb in front of goal at the railway or scoreboard end. Back near the 50-metre line, about 5 metres away, so that I suppose means he's about 45 metres from goal. Comes in now, kicking it on its way, and I think this one may be through. There's Collingwood streamers down there, and that's a goal to Essendon. And Collingwood see Essendon record its 4th goal at 19 and a half minutes into the third quarter. But Collingwood still have a lead of 40 points on the 3RWNZ scoreboard.
Let's go to Ron Barassi on 3AW.
Well, I've got a theory that Collingwood's collywobbles would appear if Essendon came at them in the last quarter. But even though that a very handy goal came from Somerville then, it's very hard to see Collingwood being under threat by any charge by
20
Essendon.
minutes into this third term and knocked out by Madden. He was looking for Harvey, found that player on the spill, left foot to half forward. Salmon goes back and takes a very courageous mark. He's looking to play on. O'Donnell makes space in front of Russell, but Russell covered him well. And here comes a lead from Grenvold. And Grenvold's up and he's paid the mark. The crowd don't like it, Sam Newman.
The crowd don't know what they're talking about then. He held the ball, and the only reason it's on replay there now, he held that, and the only reason that came out was because the guy pulled his arm away.
Now, Ron has stated in the last quarter, if Essendon come at them, they might get the collywobbles, but Grenvold has a chance to put their 5th, and they get another 1 or another 2. We might have a game on our hands, although it would be doubtful with the way Collingwood are playing, and Grenvold's kicked a goal, and Essendon are 5-5-35. Collingwood at 10-9, 69, 21 minutes. NZ scoreboard on 3AW.
It's the first time in the whole game, well, not the whole game, but since halfway through the first quarter, that they've got a run on. When I say a run, 2 quick goals. If they could get another couple, well, then it would give them a tremendous amount of heart, but I really still can't see it.
Well, Watson and Madden standing in the centre, shouting around from half-back line to half-forward line, clapping their hands, trying to urge players into greater efforts. 21 minutes have gone by in the quarter, and it's 10-9 to 5-5 with Collingwood leading 3RWNZ scoreboard. Back for the bounce, 21 minutes and 28 seconds into the third quarter, the championship quarter they call it. At the bounce, Monkhorst got it, down to Russell, couldn't hold it, picked it up again, onto the left foot, he's kicked to the member side of the ground. Izzard has gained a yard, leading in the race for the ball, bounced beautifully for him and he lost it, plunges on top of it, knocked it away, trying to get rid of it, knocked away again, right on top of the ball. Nobody will get this ball. The umpire will bounce it on the half-forward line on the member side of the ground as Izzard and his opponent have an argument which won't do either of them any good, and the ball about to be bounced on the half-forward line for Collingwood on the members' side at the punt road end. At the bounce, and Monkhorst decisively got it out towards his half-forward line. Krasiska plunging forward, knocked it further away. Essendon lifting a little bit. Down to the ground it goes, kicked off by Izzard. Whew. Holding the ball was a call against Essendon, and Barwick comes up with a free kick. Now he can kick it anywhere. Dacos let up a little bit early. Barwick now going for the big kick, kicking it long, and he kicked... might have kicked a little bit too hard, but it's well on its way up towards the centre half forward position, or full forward position, and Terry Danaher took the mark. He hand passes to Kransberg out in the back pocket on the outer side. Onto the left foot, that player, kicking long, hoping for O'Donnell. O'Donnell had it, then Russell had a touch, now Morwood. Morwood hand passes quickly, across to Mullane, going through strongly from the outer side of the ground. He launches Collingwood into attack. McGuan at the back, knocked it away. To and fro it goes, out to Izzard. Izzard defending well, scoops away, bounces, accelerates, gets his kick, over towards the outer side of the ground. Coming in to pick it up as Mullane onto the left foot, and he's kicked it high. It's going across the face of goal. 3 Essendon players there, 1 Collingwood player, and the 1 Collingwood player is going to take possession of it. Krasiska on the half-forward flank on the member's side, and he let fly, kicking up towards the full forward spot. Essendon players there, they swirl each other, down to Izzard, prominent again, and he boots it over towards the boundary line. Mullane has it now, or he's getting it, and he's losing it, and it's gone over the line to be thrown in. At 23 and a half minutes into the quarter, it's 69 to 35, Collingwood leading 3RW NZ scoreboard, and it's on their half-forward line outer side at the punt road end, and back in a play it comes. There's Monkhorst in the front berth, won it, knocked it, punched it away, upfield, but the umpire has blown the whistle, or has he? No, he hasn't. Eventually the ball came out, quickly to Thompson. Thompson going away at the back pocket on the outer side, kicking up towards the centre wing. Salmon had a touch, and that was all, but Salmon's going to get a free kick, centre wing outer side of the ground, 69 to 35, Collingwood leading.
Approaching the 24-minute mark of the third quarter, and Salmon kicks this ball long to right half forward. Somerville over, punches it, looking for Buick. On the spill kick, it was claimed, and play on, says the umpire. Advantage played to Christian, who spills the kick in towards Francis, and Francis marks for Collingwood. There's leads all over the place, and he decides to go this one towards Brown. Brown is up, punched away by Terry Danaher. On the spill, his brother Chris. He's on the left boot looking for Izzard, and nearly finds that player before the ball went over the boundary line and out of bounds. 52 metres out from the Collingwood goal at the punt road end of the MCG. 69 Collingwood play, Essendon 35. Time on nearly being played. Long is for Essendon at the foot of the pack. The ball's punched into the centre scoring area. Here comes Bomber Thompson for Essendon, claimed down there by Barwick. Dacos in there but went without the football. Kransberg lopes through, and the ball very close to the boundary line. Jamie Turner picks it up, and Turner's kick has sent it towards Danaher. In front, Brown. Over the top comes Kransberg. Hand passes it straight to Brown, and Brown has rammed through another goal. He's second. That is the biggest gift of all time. That is like winning Tats Lotto, losing your ticket, and some bloke puts in the sun that he found it. Yebbada yebbada. That is all, and what a gift for Brown. Collingwood 11-9, 75, and Essendon 5-5, 35, 25 minutes NZ scoreboard.
Only a gift for Brown. It's a perfect example of how this game, for the entire length so far, has gone, and the Collingwood pressure has just been too much. Their tackling is too quick.
Half a minute into the time on period of the third quarter. Home and host they are. It's Madden now. Monkhorst beat him, went to the ground, trying to take it away for Essendon was Spawn, and he gets free kick. A free kick for being held but not in possession. 25 and a half minutes into the third quarter. 11-9 to 5-5, and Spawn about to kick the ball into attack as deep as he possibly can. He had a call from the captain and ignored that, and now he's kicked it over towards the member side of the ground, and coming in there to take the free kick or take the kick for Essendon is Grenfold, who kicked a goal just a short time ago. Under the right foot he goes and drives the ball up towards the forward pocket on the member side of the ground, but Morwood, as steady as a rock, has taken the mark for Collingwood in the back pocket on the member side at the scoreboard end. 1.25 minutes into the time on period of the third quarter. 11-9 to 5-5, and Morwood kicks the ball around the member side of the ground up there, and taking the mark for Collingwood in the front berth was Gaffer. Gaffer on the half-back flank on the member side. 26.5 minutes into the third quarter. 11-9 to 5-5 as Gaffer kicks it up towards the centre wing position. Out there is Manson, knocked away from him, and it's gone over the line to be thrown in on true centre wing position on the member side of the ground at 27 minutes into the third quarter. 11-9 to 5-5. Collingwood heading for home. The ball coming back into play. Monkhorst doing well. Got a tap down towards Izzard. Izzard can't get the run of the ball. He couldn't get away. Picked up by O'Donnell onto the left foot, and he drives it up towards the half-forward line. McGuan ran around the ball instead of at it. It came out to Grenfold. He breaks the tackle, and 50 metres out, he's kicked in towards the forward pocket. Don't know what he's looking for there. And be Harvey, and Harvey's ridden into the ground, and it's over the line out of bounds to be thrown in. In the forward pocket for Essendon, member side of the ground, it's 11-9 to 5-5. The clock has gone past the 27-minute mark, and it's spinning back into play. Salmon gives it a biff upfield. Kick it ran into the ball, has a shot for goal. Very quick to get the boot to the ball as he did in the forward pocket on the other side of the ground. This time it's a point only as we cross 27.5 minutes into the quarter. 11-10 to 5-6. 3OW NZ scoreboard.
And Kerrison is going to kick this football back in. Not much time for Essendon to get another one. They're going to have to boot 8 or 9 to Collingwood's virtually nothing in the last quarter to win it. Kerrison outside 50. Monkhorst one-handed wasn't good enough. Izzard on the spill, and the kick spills into the hands of Kelly. He's got time. A wobbly old punt kick finds Francis, who dropped the mark. Izzard comes through with plenty of pace inside 50 now. He's got a lead from Somerville, but he's kicked it straight into the arms of the waiting Kerrison, who could not believe his luck. Got off the hook there, Kerrison, who had Somerville cold, and Kerrison's got this football, kicks it outside 50. Madden should go up and punch it, and he does. Onto the spill, Timmy Watson over the top to Izzard, drawing the opposition. Izzard kicks it into Fish, and Salmon allowed Spawn to go up there, and Spawn goes around there, lines it up. A horrible looking kick. It favours Kerrison. Collingwood will not believe their luck as Kerrison kicks it outside 50. Knocked on by Izzard, looking for Salmon. On the spill, Francis, a beautiful transfer of play to Monkhorst. He's at left half forward, half back I should say, and O'Donnell chirps in and takes a very gutsy mark.
Going through the centre of the ground now, kicking it out to kick it, making position at centre wing, knocked away by Gaffer, gathered in by Mullane. Mullane winning on his wing, has bounced his way out to the centre wing on the other side, kicking it to Turner. Turner miles away from Cransberg, and Turner's taken the mark. He breaks away now, has a bounce from 50 metres out, he lets fly in towards the full forward spot, but going across the pack there and taking good mark for Essendon was Hamilton. Hamilton getting up, Brown standing the mark at 29 minutes into the quarter, just a breath away from three-quarter time, and Hamilton's kick is up towards the half-back line, knocked down to the ground, gathered in by Russell. Russell hand passed it wide. O'Donnell intercepts, gets up, kicks it wildly. I think he may have been looking for the boundary line, but he's got Long there, and Long casually picks it up and drives the ball across to the outer side of the ground. Into trouble. Turner spilled what should have been a mark, picked up by Barwick. Anything could happen here, and it's going on its way for another goal to Collingwood. No, 1 point. 11-10 it is. 11-10, 76, and Essendon 5-6, 36. And Terry Danaher about to kick the ball back into play with the clock creaking up towards, creaking it may well be, up towards the 30-minute mark of the third quarter of the grand final. He kicks the ball. That is Danaher, Terry Danaher, out towards brother Tony. Anthony's dropped the mark. He's been paid the mark. A blessing from the umpire, and he hand passes to O'Donnell. O'Donnell kicking up towards the half-forward line. Kerrison had it knocked away from him, but he gathers it in momentarily anyhow. Down to the ground towards Morwood, who saw the bump coming up and withstood it. Out to Harvey, spilling out. Harvey's kicked over towards Somerville, making position at centre half forward. Well spoiled by Christian. Down to the ground. Play on as the call. Players wrestle and wrestle and wrestle, and the umpire says, I'll bounce it. At 30 minutes and 14 seconds, he won't have to do that, because three-quarter time has arrived.
To say they've got it now.
You don't have to say anything in this game, Sam. There's still 30 minutes to go, but it would appear that history will be made here this afternoon. We welcome you for the last quarter on 3AW, and the ball has gone a mile in the air. Thumped out by Monkhorst. Over the top comes Kickett of Essendon. He kicks a high ball down towards the 50-metre line looking for Van der Haar. Punched away from Kelly, ended up in the hands of Mullane. Mullane goes inside 50 with a booming kick looking for Krasiska. Over the top, Hamilton couldn't take the football. Dacos weaves his way through with that normal magic of his. He turns on a threepence and goes in towards the area of the forward line, and Watson takes a perler. He kicks it towards Cranberg, and Cransberg will bounce in the shadow. He'll come outside 50 and on the left boot kick a long ball down towards Harvey. Leading in the race for the ball, Harvey in front of Wright. Harvey brings it back, but not back far enough as he kicks this football into Bay 13 over the boundary line and out of bounds. And the resultant free kick will be taken by Banks. Banks now will give the football back to Wright. So it must have gone over pretty well as the boot connected with the ball. So Wright kicks 50 metres to right half, left half forward for the Maggies. Thumped away from Barwick. Coming over the top, Christian can't take possession of the football. O'Donnell in there as usual looking for the hard ball. Kicked off the ground by Kickett. Here comes Morwood on the spill. Kicks a high left-footed kick. Watson waits for it and must take the free kick, because you can't do that, Tony Francis. He ran straight at the Essendon landscape gardener and turned not big, he's not big at all, he's big-hearted. Watson spears the pass across to O'Donnell, and O'Donnell has taken a mark. 1.5 minutes of pressured time have gone away, and Essendon go forward to Simon Madden. Punched away by Christian on the spill. Kerrison, here comes Long. The cloud of dust as Long tries to get the footy going, and umpire Rich will bounce. And by the time he does that, at centre half forward for Essendon, 2 valuable minutes would have gone in the last quarter on 3AW footy.
It just occurred to me that Dacos is level with Longmire on 98 goals. Not that it means anything, but he's 2 away from 100 as Dacos. Knocked away by Madden at centre half forward for Essendon. Down to the ground it goes, but Kerrison spun through the pack and picked it up and kicked it to centre wing on the member side of the ground. Watson coming out there, backed his run at the ball and took it under control nicely. Kicked up towards centre half forward. It came back to Watson. Watson on the half forward line. Hand passes to Anthony Danaher. He lets fly and kicks the new football up towards the full forward spot. Chipping across there and taking a good mark for Essendon up there. It looked like the big fellow in there, Madden, and he has taken the mark plumb in front of goals at the punt road end. He'd be about 20 metres out and directly in front of goal at the punt road end. Essendon sorely pressed, more than sorely pressed. Continue to linger on 5-6, and Madden should add to that tally, but it's well away from Collingwood's 11-10, 3 minutes into the last quarter of the grand final. Madden back about 25-30 metres out, coming in. Christian jumping around on the mark. Madden stabs at it and hits the post. Needs that like the proverbial hole in the head, and it's a point only. And I made a mistake. I said Dacos had 98. He has only 97. So Longmire is still on top of the AFL goal-kicking ladder. 11-10 to 5-7 with Collingwood leading at 3.5 minutes into the last quarter. Kerrison bringing the ball around the member side of the ground. A nice-looking kick up towards the half-forward line. And Christian comes in to take the mark. Christian had his name written all over that one. He's marked on the half-back flank. Running by his Shaw. Now he indicates that Christian should kick it to Mullane. Instead of that, he kicked it to Kickett. And Kickett's taken the mark back on centre wing. On the member side, and he drives the ball up towards the full forward area. Madden jostling there, but Collingwood, there were 4 Collingwood players there. Eventually it was picked up by Buick, and his shot is just offline. It bounced all ways, except through the goals, and eventually it shoveled through. The goal umpire said, no, it isn't. It hit the behind post. Very alert, and the ball will be thrown back into play on the outer side of the ground in the forward pocket at the punt road end. Getting it back into play now. In there in the front berth of Salmon. Knocked it down, just got a nail to it, kicked off the ground. It goes across to the opposite side, the member side of the ground. Leading in the base for the ball is Kerrison, and he was happy to see it just trickle over the line, and it'll be thrown in about 30 metres around on the member side in the forward pocket at the punt road end. 4.5 minutes into the last quarter. It's Collingwood 11-10 to 5-7. The last shot by Madden hit the post. Down to the ground it goes. Knocked away from Gay for to and fro. In there was Kickett. Kickett got out to Buick. He got a nudge in the back, kicked off the ground, over towards the boundary line. It spins over the line out of bounds to be thrown in on the half-forward flank for Essendon, member side at the punt road end.
And 4.5 minutes have gone. 4.5 valuable minutes. It'll probably be 5 by the time the boundary umpire gains his composure. and hurls this football back into the stadium. The sun-drenched MCG will see history, it would appear. The tap out went to O'Donnell. He kicked it into Mullane, who hand passed it to mighty Mick McGuan. McGuan's kick finds Monkhorst. Couldn't claim the mark. Harvey tackles Monkhorst high. Izard comes in, hoisted in the back, and the umpire Rowan Saws will go in and bounce on the members' side of the centre of the ground here at the MCG. 5 1/4 minutes have gone. Collingwood are home, 11-10-76, Essendon 5-7-37. Knocked out by Salmon, it came down towards Gaffer, kicks a long ball to centre half forward Krasiska. On the spill coming through Banks, hand passes into open territory. On the spill Russell. Russell's cleaned up by Chris Danaher, he kicks it off the ground, a worm burner across to Francis, to Bowick, and Bowick has kicked it behind. The crowd went up, I went up, and behind went the football. 11-10-76, Collingwood 11-11-77, tell you that one. Essendon 5-7-37, 6 minutes, and Terry Danaher has got the footy. He'd make that Anthony. He's got a short, it comes out to Spawn. He'll have to wait for it, rights over the top. Spawn gathers possession outside 50, he's under trouble. He kicks a long ball down towards Harvey. Thumped away by Gaffer. Here comes Mullane, cleaned up long. Over the top, Grenvold stacks on the mill, and the umpire's going to bounce.
Well, Essendon, they've got no hope, that's for sure, but they haven't had a real leader as far as I'm concerned, with a possible exception of Watson at times throughout the day. 11-11-5-7, bounced in the middle of the ground, and Salmon knocked it away. Intercepted there cleverly by Morwood, who hand passed to Kelly. Kelly onto the left foot, kicks it wide to the outer side of the ground. It bounced nicely for Kickett. Now he's trying to get away. He slipped as he did so, and it came out to Wright. Wright will hand pass back to his teammate and Gaffer. It wasn't a good effort there by Gaffer. Hamilton nearly kicked somebody's head off. It went out there to McGuan at centre wing. Centre wing on the outer side, and he's kicked in towards Dacos. Dacos tumbling forward. The ball's knocked away, picked up by Chris Danaher, was snotted early in the game. Over towards centre wing position on that outer side of the ground. Coming back towards the centre now. A chance for Collingwood. The captain is there. It'll be kicked off the ground by Spawn. Then it went back to Shaw. Shaw hand passed it out. Russell. Russell kicks it high in towards the forward line. Knocked down by a body of players. Down towards Krasiska. Over there on that outer side. It's on the half forward line for Collingwood. Play on as a call, and weary bodies fall all over the top of it. And the ball will be bounced between centre wing and half forward flank for Collingwood, travelling the outer side and up towards the railway end. The Magpies are 11-11-5-7 on the 3AW scoreboard, 3AW FAI scoreboard at the bounce. Knocked away by Salmon, gathered in by Shaw. Shaw looks going to captain the premiership team. Kicked in towards Dacos. Knocked away by Kransberg, it might have been. No, it was Thompson. Now it's Dacos, the elusive one. Hand passing out wide. Very quickly he got it out there, and the ball kicked by Krasiska over the line to be thrown in on the half forward flank, tending to get down towards the forward pocket. In fact, it's gone back to the half forward flank to be thrown in on that outer side at the scoreboard end. Spinning back into play in the front berth there. Monkhorst, he won it. He got it down over there towards Russell, picking it up quickly and getting onto the left foot, kicking towards full forward. Danaher impeded there. Terry Danaher, down to the ground it goes. Players all over the top, but Brown there had it, lost it, going to be picked up quickly by Thompson. Oh, it's desperate football up there in the full forward zone for Collingwood. And the umpire came in to bounce it as bodies clashed heavily. It's 11-11-5-7. The attendance is 98,944. The last grand final, or the first AFL grand final at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Down on the ground it goes, knocked away, knocked further upfield by Izard, out towards the half forward line. Hesitant players there for Essendon. It's out on the half forward line for Collingwood. Picked up very quickly by Russell to kick it high, wide, not so handsome. Over towards the member side of the ground. It's loose. There's a chance here for Collingwood if they're quick enough through Mullane. Down to the ground to Dacos. Dacos stumbled, had it knocked away from him. Bodies going on top of the ball all over the place. Over towards the boundary line it goes. On the member side of the ground, picked up by Tony Shaw. 50 metres out, and he drilled a pass to Bowick that hit him and splattered off his chest over the line to be thrown in. 9 minutes into the quarter. Collingwood 11-11-5-7.
Monkhorst versus Salmon. Essendon on their last legs. Salmon from behind. Might have got it down to Anthony Danaher. He's held and he's legged, and Timmy Watson's down. Anthony Danaher has this football called to play on the left boot, kicks it to Grenvold on centre wing, runs into the shadow. Hand passes to O'Donnell, who bounces. He'll bounce again as I speak and run nearly to the 50-metre line with his third bounce. Here comes Kerrison. O'Donnell kicks it long down to the forward line, and it's marked by Madden, but the umpire's right on the job because, Simon, you gave Christian a little bit of a hoppo-bombo, my friend. Pushed him in the small of the back. And Christian of Collingwood has got this football in the depths of defence for Collingwood at the punt road end, and he's got a lead from Jamie Turner. He ignores that and goes towards Kickett, and Kickett has taken the Makita mark of the day. You mightn't win the premiership, but if you can drill, son, you've got yourself the best drill on the market on special this week at McEwen's. So here's Kickett, and here comes the lead down there, and spilling into the mark is Harvey. So Harvey has got this football. This must be the last chance for Essendon to claw their way back. I would say now that they're gone. Funnier things have happened. Collingwood kicked 5 in 9 minutes. Essendon have to kick 7 in around about 18 minutes. Harvey's gone via the cape, and he's kicked a behind, and through it goes. Essendon 5-8-38, Collingwood 11-11-77. The Bombers heading for a crash landing.
1/3 of the quarter has gone by, 10 minutes and 39 seconds. That'll be approximately a third of the time they've got to play in this, the last quarter, with a score 11-11 to 5-8. And the ball coming back into play, kicked back into play by Kerrison, over towards the members' side of the ground. And they're down, a mark to Mullane, and he takes it on the half-back flank. On the Kelly on the half-back flank on the members' side of the ground. Now he kicks it up towards Mullane, dropping back at centre wing. Bounced awkwardly for him, but Mullane thumped it further ahead, up towards Grenfell, coming down as Banks. Banks tapped it back, has it now, trying to knock it away. It went out to Kickett. Kickett picks it up and drives it back up towards centre wing position. There is Anthony Danaher to take it under control. Getting onto the left foot and hooking it in towards the half-forward line. It's bouncing kindly for Turner coming through, and Turner kicks it long up towards the half-forward line, but Izard ranging across the half-back line has taken the mark. He's kicked it to Long, and Long well out in front of Kerrison. That might have been a 50-metre penalty early in the game, but anyhow, he got it across. That's Long, got it across to Buick. Up towards the half-forward line it goes. It's loose now. A chance for Spawn coming in. Knocked away by Kelly. It's on the half-forward line or full-forward area for Essendon at the punt road end, and Collingwood players defend grimly. It's 11-11 to 5-8. 39 points away. Essendon and Collingwood heading in about 20 minutes to their 14th premiership. The ball being bounced between full-forward and centre half-forward at the punt road end, and down on the ground it goes. Knocked away by Christian out towards Kerrison. Long had it and trapped it for a moment into a cluster of players, and the umpires coming in to bounce the ball as weary players congregate over on the outer side of the ground, heading towards the forward pocket for Essendon. 11-11 to 5-8, 12 minutes into the quarter, 12 and a half minutes into the quarter. Umpire has it now, and he whacks it down on the turf, and in there was Madden. He gave it a thump up field. Morwood intercepting and pushes it out in front of him, a gallant defender, and away he goes, and nobody to see, so he's kicked it over towards the boundary line. It's going to bounce very close and over the boundary line, which is exactly where Morwood intended it to go. At 13 minutes into the quarter, Collingwood 11-11 lead Essendon 5-8, 3RWFAI scoreboard.
And the ball now, g'day Greg, the ball now throwing into play. Greg Hobbs from the AFL, one of the all-time great editors of our newspaper that's now dead. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. So Collingwood are home, and I might have done my dough, and I reckon it's a good thing, because I think if one thing's going to get this economy back, it's going to be the sale of black and white Commodores for the next 10 years in Melbourne. That's the thing to get this Victoria going. Get them back on the map. Knocked out by Monkhorst. He was looking down there for Russell, who's been magnificent. Kicked off by Tony Danaher. In towards centre half forward. Essendon are tired. Essendon are broken. Cransburg kicks it off. He's looking for Anthony Danaher, who's slow. Here comes Morwood. Hand passes out towards Mullane, who kicks a long ball to Monkhorst. And Monkhorst dives and gathers in the Sherrin. And Monkhorst is off. He's like a big giraffe. And Monkhorst, the big draft horse, has kicked it out of bounds, but not before it was touched. And the ball will be thrown back in. That will be midway between the wing position and the half-forward line as Essendon go into
back into play it comes, and now they're wrestling for possession. Knocked down there by Monkhorst. Down to the ground it goes, and the umpire's got no option other than to bounce at near enough to centre wing members' side. Collingwood 11-11 to 5-8, 13 and a half, 14 minutes into the last quarter. Just a kick or two away from glory, the Magpies. Down on the ground it goes at centre wing. Monkhorst, Salmon won it. Went to the ground again. Long coming across there, so was Shaw. Shaw got it and cleverly executed a kick towards the boundary line, which tumbles over to be thrown in. At 14 minutes minutes and 8 seconds. It's 11-11 to 5-8, and Collingwood heading for their premiership, as we've said. The ball spinning back into play, coming to do the ruck work. Somerville had it, lost it. 2 or 3 players had it. Grenfell got it, didn't know what to do with it. Kicks it up towards the centre half forward here as Spawn tumbles into the mark, and Christian let him know there was a game of football still on, and Spawn will kick from about 45 metres out directly in front of goal at the punt road end. 11-11 to 5-8, coming up to the 15-minute mark, or the halfway mark of the last quarter of the 1990 Grand Final, which for all intents and purposes is going to belong to Collingwood. And here's Spawn back over the 50-metre line now, coming in to kick towards the crowd at the punt road end. The ball's going on and on and on. It's a goal. That's a goal to Spawn. No, it hit the post. That's the last fraction. 1 point only, and Collingwood remain on 11-11. Essendon go on to 5-9 on the 3AW FAO scoreboard, and the ball going back towards Kerrison to kick it back into play at the 15-minute mark. Passing 15 minutes in the last quarter, Kerrison has the ball coming up towards the line. Now he drives the ball up towards the centre of the ground. It's floating across towards the members' side. Players high, a free kick for a push in the back, and it was a technical one. I think it went to Kickett. Kickett's got it very quickly. I think he got a surprise. Kicks it up towards the full forward spot where they fly high all over the place, and the umpires found a free kick, a push in the back against Collingwood, and Simon Madden will take the penalty kick. The free kick for Madden, slightly favouring the members' side of the ground and kicking up towards the punt road end at 15.5 minutes into the quarter. 11-11 to 5-9 on the 3AW FAI scoreboard, and here's Madden about to kick the ball from a distance of about 20 metres out, and you could call it nearly plumb in front. Up towards the punt road end. The big fellow trots in now, puts it on its way, kicked into the man on the mark. They can't do anything right. It comes out to Buick. Buick lost the run of it, a hand pass. Tony Shaw intercepted, kicked off the ground by Christian. Everyone going in hard. The ball up to Kerrison, and Kerrison's happy to run it through for 1 point. I'll talk about a comedy of errors. At 16 minutes, it's Collingwood 11-11 to 5-10, I think it may be, on the 3AW scoreboard, 5-9, and the ball about to be kicked back into play by McGuan.
Mighty Mick McGuan kicks it outside 50, looking for Kelly. On the spill from the crumbs is O'Donnell. Hand passes to Anthony Danaher, who's given his all. And the boy from the bush kicks a wobbly-looking old country punt kick in towards the centre scoring zone. Off the top of the pack comes Jamie Turner. He kicks it, but it ended up with Kickett. Kickett's kicked the giraffe kick, and it's gone a mile in towards the square. And Christian backs back. Double half somersault pike inside out and taken the mark. Kicks it outside 50 to right. Grenville up. So too is Izard. Stacks on the mill. Here comes Watson's claimed. And Watson's puts in the back, and Timmy Watson will come up and take the kick. Tell us about Watson today, Graham Bond.
He's coming up for kick 17. He's had 8 hand passes, taken 3 marks. A pretty good performance for Timmy Watson.
OK, Timmy Watson's got the cramp, and here's Graham Bond on 3AW. Just a few stats.
Well, Tony Russell and Tony Shaw, the 2 top kick getters for the game, both on 21 kicks apiece for Collingwood. Looks like Tim Watson's cramped over there on the far side. And also doing well for Collingwood, Mullane's had 17 kicks, and Mick McGuan's had 15 kicks. In the marks, Starcevic took 7 marks, and Moncourse has taken 5. And in the hitouts, Moncourse has dominated with 23 hitouts.
So Timmy Watson's got the cramp. The lead comes from Salmon, and Spawner's got this football. He ignores Salmon and goes right into the goal square. This ball will sit for Simon Madden, who will give away a free kick. And Simon Madden... very frustrating for Simon. He hit the post, he kicked into the man on the mark, and Christian will hand pass to Kelly, and Collingwood are away.
Going around the outer side of the ground, and Kelly drives the ball well upfield. Pushing and shoving going on over there. It's knocked the ground. A chance for Izard, overran it. Gafer was over there too, I fancy, but eventually it was Francis to see the ball over the line to be thrown in front of a crowd of exuberant Collingwood supporters. It's 11-11 to 5-10, 18 minutes into the quarter. Only 7 or 8 minutes away from Collingwood's premiership. The ball coming back into play now. Spins away, picked up quickly over there by Russell, kicking wide to the outer side of the ground, and Francis and Izard see it tumble over the line to be thrown in. The premiership celebrations are starting. It's 11-11 to 5-10, 18.5 minutes, pardon me, into the last quarter, and back into play it comes. Monkhorst won it again gallantly against Somerville, down to the ground, knocking it to and fro, and the umpire's found a free kick, and it'll probably go to Essendon to Izard. Izard will get the free kick. On the half-back line on the outer side of the ground, Izard, who's tried pretty gamely for Essendon, kicks it up towards the centre-half forward spot. They wrestle there, off the fingertips of Madden, went to ground, McGuan picked it up, kicked it to Shaw, hand passing to right. He won't be caught. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, He'll have to kick it now. Kicks it in towards centre half forward. Dacos dummied his way through without the ball. It's gone on the loose to Thompson. Thompson hand passes quickly across to Terry Danaher, a very tired looking man, onto the left foot up towards Spawn. In there is a fresh looking Barwick. Off the ground it goes. Kerrison kicked it off the ground. Over towards centre half forward. Kick it coming in there for Essendon at that half back position. Too slow. Couldn't get rid of the ball. Over the top it goes to Shaw. A hand pass to Barwick. Barwick to Banks. Banks dummies around. They're looking for Dacos. I think they've got it to Barwick. And Barwick's kicked a goal. Listen to it. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood. Oh, 12-11 to 5-10. 2 to Barwick. And as Sam said, we can head for the hills. My God, I wouldn't go into Hoddle Street tonight for quids.
That has signalled the end of the recession here in Victoria. Pyramid is liquid. Everything is liquid and everything is fine. Get those black and white Commodores coming out because this is it. Emotional scenes at the MCG. Monkhorst has got the football. Here comes Spawn. He bounces in the centre and kicks a long ball in towards the area of Salmon, and Christian goes up. He's got the football. He was tired, but it bounced back up, and he finds Mullane. And Mullane has got this football. Mullane kicks it in towards Banks. Fair dinkum Harvey had it on the spill, but he fell over on the emblem. Picked up by O'Donnell, kicks it over the top of Anthony Danaher's head. And here comes Mullane, kicks it to Banks. Banks goes up, very close. Chris Siska tries to get the hand pass across to Russell, and Francis was there as well. And the ball's gone over the boundary line and out of bounds, and there'll be a baby boom 9 months from tonight, you mark my words. And the ball now back into the centre of the arena. Knocked out by Moncourt, stumped on by Gafer. It came out to Izard, and the ball's over the boundary line and out of bounds. Wrong, stop crying.
Well, everyone, the Collingwood legions are gathering force, more vocal than ever. Back into play it comes, knocked down by Madden. They might as well sound the siren as far as the crowd's concerned. Picked up by Monkhorst, dropped it. He's kicked up towards the half-forward line. Dacos, cleverly beaten there by Thompson. Always game and never giving in. Onto the left foot, up towards Anthony Danaher, marked well. At centre wing on the member side of the ground, and he heads away. Driving it up towards the full forward spot. Backing back there is Salmon. Hotly pursuing him is Christian. Christian goes to the ground. Salmon too tired to pick it up, I think. And it's gone over the line. That was out of bounds. The boundary umpire didn't see it, but the goal umpire spotted it further upfield, so good work by the goal umpire. Out of bounds in the forward pocket. Players, people encircling the ground, including the police, the blue coats, everybody breaking the neck. If they keep them off the ground tonight, it'll be a miracle. The ball spinning back into play. In there, Madden. Madden got a fingertip to it. Down there to the courageous Watson. Kerrison, hand passing to Mullane, who's burned on the wing, and away he goes, Mullane, at centre wing and booting it long. Up towards Banks on centre wing on the member side of the ground, and it's 22 minutes in. Look at him! Heads on them like mice, 12-11 to 5-10. Collingwood leading on the 3OWFAI scoreboard. The ball out of bounds on centre wing member side of the ground, about to be propelled back into play. 22 minutes and 18 seconds are gone. 19 and Collingwood after their 14th premiership, or just about to get it, I should say. Monkhorst again, superb. Went to Izard. Izard's kick up towards Anthony Danaher. Spills loose. Down on the ground it goes at centre wing member side. Nearly a bounce to take place. Izard still in there battling gamely, and the umpire will bounce on centre wing.
And umpire Dennis Rich as the players pick themselves up. Have a look at Tony Shaw. Captain courageous Tony Shaw. We are seeing history this afternoon, and knocked out by Somerville. He was looking for long. Kerrison, a magnificent replacement for Richardson, picks up the football. He's showing plenty of guts and determination, and this crowd here has gone absolutely ape as the trainer comes out and gives the boundary umpire a little bit of a squirt. That's good stuff. The ball shines in the evening sunshine in metropolitan Melbourne as Izard kicks it towards Watson, battling his guts out. He kicks a high ball. Mighty Mick Gafer goes for the solids of the boundary line, and it spills over.
Now it's 23 minutes into the quarter. 12-11 to 5-10. The ball coming back into play. Spinning it there, and in the front berth is Madden. He got it that time ahead of Monkhorst. Izard and Buick still in there. Picked up by Kickett. Kickett's kick up towards the half-forward line. Locke gathers it in. A hand pass to Grenfell. Grenfell's kick in towards the full-forward zone, and Morwood takes the mark.
And Morwood has got this football. He is a mighty player. He's got Christian if he wants him, and all Salmon can do is watch Christian mark inside 50 defensive zone on the left half-back flank. Collingwood have gone absolutely berserk here. Manson smiling, so Starzovic. And this ball goes up to the wing position. It goes out to Krasiska. Krasiska versus Hamilton. Hamilton does his best, but coming around mighty Mick McGuan. And McGuan sights the corner of his eye and has found Francis. And Francis has taken the mark for Collingwood.
On the centre wing position, he's kicked it over to Tony Shaw. To Mullane at centre half forward. Mullane stumbles, might have got a bit of a touch, but Anthony Danaher coming in, battling gamely, slipped to the ground unfortunately for him. He still lost it. Players battling this out manfully. It's terrific stuff from both teams, the way they're finishing the game out. It went out to Mullane and he passed to Shaw, and Shaw takes the mark. The captain of Collingwood, 30 seconds away from the time on period. 12-11 to 5-10, Collingwood leading on the 3AW FAI scoreboard, and Tony Shaw 50 metres out from goal, kicking up to the huge crowd. No, he's not going for goal. Kicks it across to, in my opinion, pretty close to best man on the ground in Monkhorst. He's not going to be far away. He's at centre half forward, and it's now on the time on period in the 1990 Grand Final with the scores 12-11 to 5-10, and the ball with Monkhorst at centre half forward for Collingwood. Lining them up, players, Collingwood players telling him just kick another goal. Don't fiddle around, kick it. Drive the nail into the coffin. Monkhorst back on the 50-metre line. Let them remember it for the rest of their lives. And he's put it on its way, and he's kicked a goal for Collingwood. Monkhorst has kicked the goal. 26 minutes into the last quarter, and it's Collingwood. 13-11 to 5-10, 3AW FAI scoreboard.
And one of the great players of all time, Lee Matthews, will now savour a moment in the history of football. And look at Lee Matthews down on the boundary line. Hugging him is Graham Allen and Manson. What magnificent scenes here, Ron Barassi. Would take you back 70 years.
Well, not that longer, Rex, but terrific to see Lee get the kudos, because there's just no hope that his team won't lose now, and he would be a very pleased and proud and happy man. No
and
question.
Unashamedly, tears streaming down the face of rugged Ronnie Richards, and I know what's going through his mind. He'll say this is for Jack Hamilton. The ball back in the centre of the ground. There's the bounce, knocked out by Monkhorst, and another kick to Tony Shaw was marked by Anthony Danaher. Essendon will not go down, but they know they're in awful trouble. Well, big trouble, because it's time on. Here comes Madden, diving on the ball, but Collingwood are going to clear it again through Christian.
And he takes it around the outer side of the ground, up towards the half-back line, and over there to take the mark, and doing it as Turner. Turner kicks it to the captain, Tony Shaw, magnificent little player, up towards Wright, and Wright's marked on centre wing on the outer side of the ground. The Magpie masses, waving flags, throwing beanies in the air. Wright has kicked it up to a lead up there on the outer side of the ground, but it's bounced over the line out of bounds. 27 minutes gone in the 1990 Grand Final. 13-11 to 5-10 on the 3AW FAI scoreboard. The ball about to be kicked back into play by a weary-looking Tony Danaher. Up towards centre wing, knocked away. No, it isn't. It's a mark to Monkhorst. He's mine. Monkhorst is my best man, I think. I think it's got to be certain for mine. Down towards the centre half forward spot. Out to Anthony Danaher. A hand pass out to Harvey, who hasn't done a lot, and he kicks it wearily upfield, and the mark taken over there by a Grenfell driving it long. Up towards the full forward area. Over the heads of Salmon it goes. Down to the ground, knocked away. Over towards the forward pocket. Collingwood defending stoutly. Knocking it towards the boundary line. They can't pick it up. Kelly couldn't pick it up. It's in the forward pocket for Essendon. Knocked away. A chance for Turner. Kick it comes in. Turner tackles him. Play on. The players can hardly crawl, let alone run. And at 28 minutes into the quarter, it's 13-11 to 5-10.
And umpire Dennis Richards got this football. Not long to go. A sea of reporters, a sea of photographers, with lethal Lee Matthews, who's absolutely ecstatic at these charges. It's 30 seconds to go. Count them down if you like. 28 and the ball's high, knocked out by Madden. It comes out towards Morwood, who thumps it, but Graham Wright will concede the behind, and the valuable seconds click away for Collingwood. There is less than 16 seconds to go in this Grand Final. 12 seconds counting down, and mighty Mick McGuan will probably have the last kick for Collingwood. Mighty Mick McGuan is going to kick it to Mullane, and Mullane is marked out there in front of Anthony Danaher. And on the 26th Grand Final, Bill, here comes the siren.
3 seconds to go. 13-11 to 5-11. Mullane in the pocket. There it is. There it is. Well, just look at it. Collingwood premiers. The 14th premiership, they've equalled Essendon's record, and they won away from Carlton, and they've won it 13-11 to 5-11.
Magnificent exhibition by Collingwood. And, well, this goes down in the annals of history, because now I know I shouldn't have sold my business, because Victoria is heading for boom times. I can tell you now, Timmy Watson goes over, and he and Tony Shaw embrace in what now has become football history, with Collingwood winning the first AFL Grand Final here at the MCG.
How could they get hold of these players, Sandy? It's absolutely impossible. Euphoria is broken out. These players, they are just on top of themselves.
Well, they've worked so hard. Lee Matthews' rebuilding program is waving to the crowd, and with him is his inspirational skipper, Tony Shaw. The first game they finished 6th, they went down to 12th, they came back to 4th, then 5th, and now they have football's ultimate prize. Let's go back to Michael Roberts.
Absolutely sensational feelings down here, Bob. We couldn't get near a player, but you must have a tear in your eye because you've been in this situation so many times before.
Yes, I've had a kiss from Tony Shaw. It is a fabulous performance. I just couldn't praise the players greatly enough for their gutsy performance, their team effort, the whole works, and they've rewarded the club and they're in history now.
What about the supporters, and what about Lee Matthews? You know, to come through, he's finally won a premiership. It must be fantastic for the club.
Yes, well, I'm so grateful that the guy joined us 6 years ago, and he's got his just rewards, and we've got our rewards too. So we're all absolutely out of this world.
Thanks, Bobby. Bernie Quinlan's over there. Bernie.
Well, I've got Tony Shaw, I think, Don. I can't get it. I'm in the middle of it, Donny. I can't get a word here.
Certainly in the middle of it. Yes, he'd be doing very well if he could get a word there, because he is right in the middle of it. And while we've looked at the winners, we must also think of the losers.
And there's nothing worse, Sandy, than losing a grand final. You feel like, and I've been in that position, you just wonder why you even played that season, because it's just a worthless season to get so far and to miss out. But Collingwood, gee, they did it well. It's not the best Collingwood side individually that's been out there, but collectively it's got a lot of grit in that particular side, and they really did want to win today. It's just a fantastic effort.
Well, I'm sure this crowd is going to erupt again, because we've got the presentation coming up now with the chairman of the AFL Commission, Ross Oakley.
Prime Minister, Premier, my Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Well, what a magnificent performance today we've witnessed from the Collingwood Football Club. Years, and they've now won the first premiership under the new AFL banner. Congratulations. To present the Norm Smith Medal to the best player on the ground, we have Frank Bluey Adams, a great Melbourne champion, a player of 6 premierships. We welcome Frank to the dais. The winner of the Norm Smith Medal, surprisingly, Tony Shaw. To present the Premiership Trophy and medallions to the winning team, Dr. John Hamilton is here representing the Hamilton family, the son of the late, great Collingwood player, Jack Hamilton.
And now here's the moment Collingwood players have waited for so long. The presentation of the Premiership medallions. First of all, let's call up number 1, Damien Monkhurst. What a great game from the big fella. Number 2, Tony Francis. Let's hear it for number 3, Michael Gaffer. Number 7, Shane Morwood. Number 12, what a performance, Dennis Banks. I think he's happy. Number 17, Doug Barwick. Number 19, Graham Wright. Number 21, Michael Christian. Number 23, Craig Kelly. Number 24, emulating the deeds of his father Ken in 1958, Jamie Turner. '26, what a comeback, Gavin Brown. '27, Craig Starcevich. '28, Gavin Krasiska. '29, Scott Russell. '30, here's a big one, James Manson. '34, the one and only Mickey McGuan. '35, the Miracle Man, Peter Dacos. Number 42, Pants himself, Darren Mullane. '44, a late inclusion, but what a performance, Shane Kerrison, Kerro. To receive his medallion, the skipper, the Norm Smith medalist, number 22, Tony Shaw. And he's been on this stand before, ladies and gentlemen, never as the coach of a winning team, and it happens to be Collingwood, the coach, Lee Matthews.